It'll be worth it, as the Polars have been tweaking and tuning for months in preparation for the 2026 season, which is coming up. The Busch Light Nationals in Evansville are this weekend at the Vanderburg 4-H Center, with light super stocks, super farms, super stock diesel trucks, pro stocks, minis, light mods, and unlimited mods all hitting the track. You can't be there in person. You definitely want to watch on Full Pole Live, where they'll be streaming all 4 sessions. As we prepare for the heart of the polling season, we can't forget the season actually started 2 months ago with the Southern Swing in Florida. There were 2 points hooks in Zellwood and 2 in Satsuma in mid-March, so this weekend isn't truly the start of the season. The Minis made both hooks in Florida, with Grant Theobald on top of the points with Lil Wicked after sweeping the Southern Swing. He's only 5 markers up on the combo of Kevin and Lindsey Campbell and their mini rod they call Wild Card. Looking at the standings in the light mods after Florida, Chase Smith aboard Outclassed is holding the top spot in the points on the heels of 2 wins. Only 3 points behind is Chase Richardson with Tag Team, and rounding out the top 3 is Wayne Sullivan and Kentuckian, only 6 points behind. As we look at the Superstock diesel trucks, Blake DeBrew and Flammable is on top, followed by Nick Gillette with Top Shelf in second, and Shane Kellogg with Trump in third. The new 4.1 Pro Stock tractors made their debut in Florida, with Kevin Lindstrom and his 1971 International 1466 he calls Hyper Harvester on top of the points, followed by Brian Miller and his International 1066 he calls Dig and Bone in second, only 3 points behind. Starting this weekend and through the summer, there are polls pretty much every other day, and polls continue into October, so there is no shortage of horsepower hitting the track in 2026. This week on NTPA Championship Polling on RFD TV, we go back to the North Iowa Nationals in Rockwell. The Super Farms hit the track after a rainy weekend, so you do not want to miss it. Wednesday, 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central. But if you do miss it, it airs again on Saturday at 1 o'clock Eastern, Sunday at 2 o'clock Eastern, and Monday at 1:30 Eastern. This has been the NTPA Overnight Report. I'm Greg Hunter. Remember, pull hard.
Truck downtime costs you money. One hidden killer on Cummins ISX 15 engines is weak injector cups. When they leak, coolant gets into the cylinders and suddenly you're facing a big repair bill. Industrial Injection has the fix. Our Torque Lock Injector Cup Kit with a threaded Torque Lock design. These cups stay sealed for good. No more coolant leaks. No more surprise downtime. Keep your truck on the road. Ask your shop for Industrial Injection Torque Lock Injector Cups today.
Truckers spend lots of hours on the road. So when it comes to staying connected, you need a headset that works just as hard as you do. Blue Parrot is the #1 headset brand for professional drivers, and we've taken the quality you've come to expect from us and made it even better. Check out our newest headsets, the Pro B350 and Pro B450, offering you more hours of talk time, better voice control, extreme comfort, and industry-leading AI voice isolation microphones. So you can spend more time talking about the important things and less time repeating yourself. To get yours, check out BlueParrot.com. Blue Parrot, hear and be heard.
All righty, looks like we'll get things totally reset. It was called routine maintenance. It'd be nice to get a notification. I was finally able to get in contact with Alta Fiber, so we'll get take care of the news break here, a service of Industrial Injection, and be back live on a Friday right after this. Thanks for your patience. Coming to you on a Friday morning, the Steve Sommers Overnight Drive.
USA Radio News, I'm Anthony Lucero. Iran is wary of Somaliland as a potential Western military foothold.
Reports say Iran views the breakaway territory of Somaliland as a potential Western military foothold that could shift influence in the Red Sea region. Analysts suggest access to its deepwater ports and airfields could affect how the U.S. and allies respond to Houthi disruptions of shipping lanes. Somaliland has offered cooperation with Washington, while U.S. officials publicly maintain coordination with Somalia as they assess regional security options. Ron Warner, USA Radio News.
U.S. forces conducted an operation in Nigeria targeting ISIS-linked militants accused of attacks on Christian communities. Defense officials say the mission was coordinated with Nigerian authorities and aimed at degrading extremist networks in West Africa, as well as disrupting future attacks. From America's News Network, USA Radio News.
Business owners, are you paying high phone bills for old school systems and lousy service? StrongTel cuts your phone bills in half and turns every phone you own into a feature-rich business system. Sean Roddy, CEO of Hennings Brothers Drilling, had this to say: "We've been a StrongTel customer for over 10 years. It's great, and even includes an intercom with video to our equipment yard. I can watch live from anywhere with my smartphone. I'd recommend StrongTel to anyone. Never miss a customer call again with your StrongTel business system. StrongTel is a proud iTex partner and always welcomes your iTex dollars. You'll get award-winning StrongTel service, a business-class phone system, and cut your phone bill in half. Visit strongtel.com. That's StrongTel, StrongTel.com. It's StrongTel.
Truck downtime costs you money. One hidden killer on Cummins ISX 15 engines is weak injector cups. When they leak, coolant gets into the cylinders and suddenly you're facing a big repair bill. Industrial Injection has the fix. Our Torque Lock Injector Cup Kit with a threaded Torque Lock design. These cups stay sealed for good. No more coolant leaks. No more surprise downtime. Keep your truck on the road. Ask your shop for Industrial Injection Torque Lock Injector Cups today.
Truckers spend lots of hours on the road. So when it comes to staying connected, you need a headset that works just as hard as you do. Blue Parrot is the #1 headset brand for professional drivers, and we've taken the quality you've come to expect from us and made it even better. Check out our newest headsets, the Pro B350 and Pro B450, offering you more hours of talk time, better voice control, extreme comfort, and industry-leading AI voice isolation microphones. So you can spend more time talking about the important things and less time repeating yourself. To get yours, check out BlueParrot.com. Blue Parrot, hear and be heard.
Your factory fuel filter is letting you down. AirDog heavy-duty diesel fuel systems don't just filter your fuel. The AirDog fully optimizes your truck's fuel system for peak efficiency. The factory-provided filter simply removes particulates and water from fuel. The AirDog system removes all contaminants, including entrained air, water, and particulates, and feeds the engine pump with optimal pressure. Check out AirDogDiesel.com to learn how you can capture every bit of performance and efficiency from your fuel system.
Dean Michael, the tax doctor, here with Tax Help MD. As many of you know from Steve Sommers' show, I've been helping professional drivers solve their tax problems. I can help you too. If you've been struggling with back tax debt, call me now at 888-557-4020. Let's face it, these problems aren't going away all on their own. You need professional help so you can sleep better at night knowing you're in good hands. It's like I always say, keep your eyes on the road, I'll keep my eyes on the IRS. 888-557-4020.
Ready to beat the heat this summer? Keep your long haul, short haul, off-road adventure, or just stay cool while on site with Be Cool. Designed with on or off-the-road vehicles in mind, Be Cool offers you DC-powered cooling, low voltage protection, easy installation, and more. Beat the heat with Be Cool. It's the cooler way to go. With air conditioners for semi-trucks starting at $888. Get yours today. Visit b-coolaircon.com or call 778-590-5000. That's 778-590-5000. 5,000.
Black and Indigenous girls are disproportionately represented in sex trafficking cases. The LGBTQ plus population is one of the most at risk for human trafficking, and this is compounded by societal discrimination and prejudice. Traffickers seek victims from populations they think are disposable and that no one cares about. TAT trains members of the trucking, bus, and energy industries to recognize and report this crime. To learn more about human trafficking and how to protect yourself and your family, visit tatnonprofit.org.
You're listening to The Overnight Drive with Steve Sommers.
Alrighty, check 1, 2. Are we back? We're back. Hey, what a way to start your Friday. I know, from time to time, I have to work on my car. From time to time, you have to work on your truck. Apparently, from time to time, the internet service providers have to do maintenance as well. The only thing I said was, well, it'd be nice to get maybe like a notification in advance. Hey, we're going to be in the dark for a few minutes here. When I was able to get a hold of technical support, he was very kind. I appreciate your help. He may be listening now because he pulled up. He said, I so apologize. You're Steve Sommers. Oh, the overnight drive. Yes. He said, I'll have to listen to you sometime. He pulled me up on the internet there. He said, you're in a zone where there's about 3,000 customers undergoing routine maintenance. I said, well, how long is this going to last? He said, Slated till 6 a.m. What? It's going to be out all night? Yeah, well, yeah, it may be out. It could be done within an hour. We don't know. So they got it done within about 30 minutes. Thank you. What do you say, Grump?
And here I thought you'd run out of quarters or something, feeding that box there, them quarters, Yeah, it happens from time to time on these big jumps, don't it? Where you get that outage going on there. I seen that video, man, about that explosion. That dude was massive. I mean, hell, it just my goodness.
And you can actually
windows over.
You could see the shock wave going out, and there was one video somebody recorded like from a balcony over there on the coast of Florida, and that one there's audio, and you hear the explosion. I guess it's maybe 15 seconds after you see the explosion. What's speed? I mean, the sound travel at a mile a second or something, or
well. Light travels at 286,000 miles per second. So what would sound travel at? It would be.
It's a lot slower than that.
Yeah, it'd be a lot slower than that, but it'd be, man, it's still a lot. I'd say 15 seconds, on a gunshot and everything like that. That would be probably 6 miles away, maybe 7 miles.
15 seconds, and you could almost feel the shock wave impact them all that distance away. I'm thinking people right there. Yeah, maybe along the coast of the Cape and whatnot. Like you said, they may have windows blown out.
Yeah, probably. Shook them pretty good there. But yeah, that was a hell of an explosion. You think that would be more contained? That they would have more blast walls up, around something like that to keep that, that shock wave going up instead of out.
Yeah.
But hell, it'd probably blow the damn walls down the way that thing was. But yeah, we had when I was stationed over in England at Lakenheath, we had a big sound suppressor for F-111s, and they would chain these planes to it, and they'd run full throttle, full afterburners, and doing tests on these engines, and you could hear that damn thing. I mean, first time when I first got there, I was asleep because I jet lagged up, and I was in the barracks and sound asleep, and boom, man, they got on that sound suppressor and opened that thing up, and it shook the damn building. I thought, what in the hell? We're getting bombed already, because hell, we was in the heart of the Cold War at that time, and everything. But it was massive. I mean, just shaking. But yeah, and we've seen some, being in Iraq and stuff, some of the bomb runs and stuff like that, especially on A-10s and some of the other aircraft that was doing bomb runs, coming in on close air support. I mean, you can feel them damn 500-pounders. I mean, they just knock the snot out of you when they hit. You get a good ways away, when the controllers are calling in strikes on things, and it just shakes you, But I just kind of wonder how much of that hit the Richter scale on that thing, because it was massive. It was just like, damn, I can't believe that, that's a big rocket,
And I'm not sure what that particular. I don't know what Bezos rockets use. That was a Blue Origin. Philip knows some of them use liquid oxygen and liquid other different propellants. He doesn't like the propellants that the Artemis system uses because it's different than the SpaceX. So whatever that rocket was fully loaded with, it went up in an instant.
Oh, yeah. There wasn't no waiting around. I mean, hell, Philip probably knows the damn chemical composition of it. He's into that. He's a good guy to talk to, man. I like getting on the phone with Philip. He's interesting. But Steve, over the years I've done a lot of writing, for different venues, a lot of ghost writing. And that's getting to be a thing in the past. I was reading some articles today on some of the things that, we generally talk about, like on the trucking industry and different stuff. And if you read the little fine print on a lot of this stuff, when you're, looking up information on mechanical stuff, that's going on, say with the SCR, the catalyst and things that's happening with the engines today. If you look at the little fine print on there, so many of these things is, generated by AI. And I'm thinking, man, this is, if you just digging into this stuff, I mean, hell, you you could probably do a complete show prep, I mean, just on AI. I mean, just give them topics that you want to talk about throughout the night, and it'd probably give you 5 hours worth of stuff. It's amazing how so many people are, good writers and stuff, are getting kicked out of the business because of AI. I mean, it's just there's no more need for it. I belong to a writers guild, and we talk about it on online and on internet and stuff. And some of the people that I know call me from time to time, from when we writing articles and writing different opinion pieces. I wrote a lot of speeches throughout for people, but now, hell, I mean, they just give a topic and AI, boom, it whoops it out there, in no time. And a lot of the stuff that I look at, too, on Supreme Court cases and stuff, I used to write for this legal, it was a legal venue where, they'd ask questions about things that was happening in different, in trucking industry, for instance. And, do a lot of research. It takes a good while to, to research the topic and try to get a piece out there where that makes sense to these people. And I've made a lot of money over the years over that, but I think that ship has sailed, man. I just don't think they're a lot of the agents and used to, you'd send in a sample of your writing or something like that. They'd give you a topic and you'd send in a sample that had be between 750 and 800 words or something like that, and they would you never knew what you was going to get paid for, because once you send it in, it belongs to them. You sign a non-disclosure agreement on that, and what happens. And if you have money show up in your bank account, well, apparently they're going to print it. If not, you don't get anything. And but it just seems to me like just listening to some of these other people talk that was really good writers. I mean, they've some of them I knew that of course you don't disclose a lot of the people that you write for, because you really don't know who they are. The agent will get a hold of you, or something. You ask for samples, and like I said, and they may have a 5 chapters in a book or something like that. They want people to contribute in. You might have 10 people writing a chapter or something like that, and they'll take whichever one's the best. And that's just the way the ghostwriting scene is. But yeah, I was looking at that and I'm thinking, damn, it's a thing in the past now. AI is just taken over so much of that venue, and it's a damn shame, because we're going to have a lot of dumb people that's going to look for bullet points instead of
and supposedly there's supposedly coming down a time when AI voices will be talking to you via your radio and obviously like on your internet. You're so good that you're not going to know it's not a real human, they say.
Right. Yeah. And that's, this is getting, kind of crazy. I mean, hell, when AI is replacing everything, and there may be a time when,
Ding dong. Is that artificial intelligence? I don't think so. All right. Well, we'll may have lost the phone connection momentarily there. Let's see if it comes back up here.
The web interface.
Yeah, it is.
Audio recording is on.
Okay.
Using so much of our knowledge and, so much help on things. And it just, when you sit down and I love research and stuff. When I was working, for a district attorney and taking law classes and different things. But I did a lot of the research on a lot of cases and a lot of, writing summations and stuff like that for him. And I really enjoyed reading it. But now, hell, I mean, where it take hours to do, now they do it in seconds. It's just, I don't know, man. I think it's going to be dumbing down America, because you're going to be depending on so much of the AI stuff to get by with. And, and all they're going to look at is bullet statements and, look at them. Well, hell, this will get me through. Yeah, I guess so. It'll give you just enough knowledge to screw something up, and I don't know. It's just my opinion, I guess, on that. But still, it's a damn shame that, we replace good people with a computer, But, over the years, man, I used to really enjoy, some of the discussions and stuff about, hell, back in the day, sitting around a truck and, a table, before telephones and all the rest of the garbage, we'd be sitting around a table at a truck stop somewhere talking about, engines and, it was just, school was in session, basically. It was just, you really learned a lot from the older guys and learned a lot about the older engines and stuff now. And today it's just hell. Nobody can figure the damn things out. Some of them's got, 60 different sensors on there that, monitors everything from RPMs to, fuel flow. And it just, you're like, damn, we're getting pushed aside, buddy, by the computers and stuff. But what you was talking earlier there about, I didn't catch it all because it kept cutting in and out, but about the illegal aliens and stuff that I think who was it that was talking about that earlier? One of your earlier callers there. I look at a lot of this and how many's been, we've tried to get out of this country, and I don't know why in the hell it is that these judges, even today, even after so many rulings through the Supreme Court that, Secretary of State is the sole authority on immigration. I mean, Marco Rubio can pull the papers of anybody in this country that's here on a visa, that's here as a permanent resident or whatever, for whatever reason they want to do it for. And you got so many damn judges now that are stepping in and saying, nope, there's no end to it. It's what the hell is wrong with these activist judges anymore? I mean, it's like they care more about, people that's coming into this country than the safety and security of those that's already here. I just, good citizens and stuff. It's absolutely nuts. I don't know if it's a shot to Trump or whether they just that much of an activist that they just absolutely believe that they're in the right for stopping things that they know they don't have the legal authority to do. And it's, anymore, it's like some of these judges are, a couple of them, like, look at Garcia, that idiot, he blocked charges against them one more time, trafficking charges, and said that it was just propaganda toward, they were just being racist and discriminatory against him. I mean, where in the hell do they get the gall, literally to tell the Attorney General that, you're just being racist when they legally have the authority to go after this guy for trafficking? And it's, I don't know, man. I'll tell you, it's a scary day in this country when judges, these bureaucrats are overriding our elected officials. It's a damn scary day. And I don't know, man. I'll tell you what, it's just, they need to do more impeachments. I look at that and I'm thinking, get rid of some of these fools. And this is exactly what the Democrat Party wants. They want more of these bureaucrats, like judges, like federal judges, that are so far left-leaning that they just absolutely want them running this country. They want them to okay every damn thing they do. And that's why they want to pack the Supreme Court. They don't want something that, somebody that's going to look at whether or not it's constitutionally correct. They want to look at it like it's politically advantageous. They want them to look at it like it's compassionate for what their beliefs are, and damn the Constitution, whether it's legal or not. Let's look at the human side of it. It just anymore, man. I'll tell you, it's like you just pick the damn paper up, or you pick open up your phone or something like that and want to read something in the news. It's like, I can't believe this crap is happening. And you want to look at the world events and stuff and say, are we talking world events, or are we talking just things right here in this country? It's stunning to me that we have been allowed to go down this path where, the average citizen's rights are being determined, whether or not, you have the leaning judge or a judge that's going to shoot from the hip or what the hell's going on, that's going to allow, these people that just invade this country to have more rights and more authority over the citizens than the citizens can withstand. It's I don't know, man. I'll tell you what, I looked and you seen where was it, in Mississippi or something, Alabama? I think it might have been Alabama, where that judge said that they were being discriminated against on the redraw and the redistricting lines
right.
and stuff. They were discriminating against blacks. What the hell is wrong with them? I mean, when the Supreme Court just sat right there the other day when they ruled on that and said you cannot use race as a determining factor on district.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do it. I mean, and here these federal judges are going to hell with the Supreme Court. I know better. I'm going to block it. Somebody ought to grab that dude by the damn hair of the head, or her, or whoever, and lead them off that bench and say, no. Everything that you're doing right here is a violation of the law, basically. And it just, I don't know, man. I'll tell you what, it's this election, this midterm is going to be, if they don't get the SAVE Act passed, it's going to be absolutely crazy. I know a lot of people are still for the filibuster, wanting to get that filibuster busted up and say, I don't know. I'm still, that still worries the hell out of me, and we've talked about this, before about
right.
it, but it really does worry me about, doing away with the filibuster, because it was designed to give, the party and, the minority party a voice in the system right now. But it just seems to me like, anybody that's left in the minority right now, they don't care. I mean, it's just, you got Jeffries and you got all them other idiots that they care more about Sharia law and Islamic principles and things like that than they do actually care about what the Constitution actually says. And it's just, I hope that's a document that they never push aside, because, the founders, when they, when this was drawn up, it was one of the most brilliant pieces of work that was ever created. How can we make something that's going to last for centuries, and affect so many people when this was a new country, 250 years ago. I mean, when it was a new country and everything right then was, our birth was happening, and they knew that they would have to write a document. They would have to come up with a document that would grow with the people and still be fair with the people. And it just, as much as the Democrats would like to believe that this is a living, breathing document, it is not. It's something that is written in stone, as far as I'm concerned. It's not living and breathing. Yes, you can alter it. You can put amendments out there, but it better be amendments that better this country and not take away from somebody's individual rights. And it's just, I don't know, man. Like I said, I've just getting tired of everything that's happening in this country right now because of these whack jobs we call the Democrats. They used to stand for something, man. They used to stand for the working man and try to be fair, with Social Security and things like that, and then all of a sudden it's like they just flipped the script and said, hell, let's run out of all them people. Let's get rid of them. Let's just have this left-leaning lunatics take over the Democrat Party and push our agenda on free every damn thing and open the borders up and let whoever wants to crawl through and just,
the sad thing is with that right now, you were talking about the filibuster. Yeah, even though they are in the minority right now, even though it's so minimal, they want to be running the show. They could care less that they're in the minority. They want to be calling the shots across the board.
Absolutely. And they want to do it through the courts. They want to, like I said, they want 19 justices on the Supreme Court, not 13. They want them up there. They want a massive amount of justices that will override anything and everything. They don't want co-equal branches of government. They want somebody to reassure them that everything that they're doing, this wacky crap that they're coming up with, will be the right thing to do for this country. Be what's fair for the American people. Fair is not always the answer. What legal and the legalities that's involved with it, and whether or not they're violating the Constitution is something that they need to look more at. And the Democrats don't give a damn about that Constitution. Like I said, they just they think it's a living, breathing document that the person in power, their person in power, should be able to make those changes. And this country should adapt to those changes as they see fit.
Mm-hmm.
And it's whacked out, man. I ain't kidding you. When you got federal judges that are telling the president of the United States, you don't have the authority to do that. The hell he don't. He is the chief law enforcement officer of the land. I mean, my God, and look at Rubio. I mean, here's one of the smartest guys that we've ever had as Secretary of State right there. Knows the law inside and out. He's been doing it for a good while now, and knows that he has that sole authority to get to usher these people that are coming into this country on visas and then doing their protest and talking trash about the United States. Get your ass out of here. He's putting them on a plane, and federal judges saying, nope, stop the plane, turn it around, bring it back. I want that person back here. It's just shocking that they think they have that legal authority to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And you got, so many of them like Trump and them say, well, we're going to abide by this, by the judge's ruling right now. We're going to take it on up to the appeals court, or we're going to take it on up to the Supreme Court. I'd tell that federal judge to kiss my butt in a damn second, say, lock me up, fool. Who's going to do it? I mean, seriously. I mean, Trump could pardon himself or anybody along the way. I'd ignore it in a damn second. As far as immigration is concerned, immigration judges say, get them out of here, then that's the ruling. I mean, that's just
right.
The way it is.
And that's what 70% plus of the American people actually support. All right, Grump, we're up to a news break. Top of the hour's upon us. Long way to go, though, rolling into a Friday. News, a service of Industrial Injection, serving Cat, Cummins, Detroit, and more. Fuel injection, turbochargers, complete engine solutions, the knowledge you trust, the quality you depend on. IndustrialInjection.com.
Truck downtime costs you money. One hidden killer on Cummins ISX 15 engines is weak injector cups. When they leak, coolant gets into the cylinders and suddenly you're facing a big repair bill. Industrial Injection has the fix. Our Torque Lock Injector Cup Kit with a threaded Torque Lock design. These cups stay sealed for good. No more coolant leaks. No more surprise downtime. Keep your truck on the road. Ask your shop for Industrial Injection Torque Lock Injector Cups today.
Dean Michael, the tax doctor here. Are you tired of those tax problems following you around like a dark cloud? Always in the back of your mind, losing sleep at night? Call me now and get your life back. 888-557-4020 or go to mytaxhelpmd.com. Pretending they're not there won't make them go away. The IRS isn't going to forget. They will levy your bank account and garnish your wages. Don't wait for that to happen. I'm not telling you these things to scare you. I'm telling you so you can benefit from my years of experience. Now is the time to act. 888-557-4020.
Your factory fuel filter is letting you down. AirDog heavy-duty diesel fuel systems don't just filter your fuel. The AirDog fully optimizes your truck's fuel system for peak efficiency. The factory-provided filter simply removes particulates and water from fuel. The AirDog system removes all contaminants, including entrained air, water, and particulates, and feeds the engine pump with optimal pressure. Check out airdogdiesel.com to learn how you can capture every bit of performance and efficiency from your fuel system. Truckers spend lots of hours on the road, so when it comes to staying connected, you need a headset that works just as hard as you do. Blue Parrot is the #1 headset brand for professional drivers, and we've taken the quality you've come to expect from us and made it even better. Check out our newest headsets, the Pro B350 and Pro B450, offering you more hours of talk time, better voice control, extreme comfort, and industry-leading AI voice isolation microphones, so you can spend more time talking about the important things and less time repeating yourself. To get yours, check out BlueParrot.com. Blue Parrot, hear and be heard.
USA Radio News, I'm Anthony Lucero. The U.S. and Iran have reportedly reached a deal to extend the ceasefire pending President Trump's final approval.
Axios reports the two countries reached an agreement on a 60-day memorandum of understanding. It would lead to more intense negotiations on Iran's nuclear program. This would represent a significant development after talks appeared to stall and the two nations recently launched new strikes. John Sommers, USA Radio News.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio says Cuba is in a lot of trouble.
He discussed the situation in Cuba during President Trump's cabinet meeting at the White House Wednesday.
Unfortunately for them, it's run by a bunch of incompetent communists. Being communist is bad. Being an incompetent communist is like the worst.
Rubio said it's a national security issue to have a failed state just 90 miles from the shores of the U.S. He went on to say the U.S. will be working on it and that hopefully there will be a good outcome for Cuba. Trump has previously said he wants to provide Cuba with humanitarian aid and open the country up for Cuban Americans to go back and help. I'm Mark Mayfield.
Pam Bondi has been appointed to a White House Artificial Intelligence Advisory Committee focused on shaping federal policy on emerging technology. The panel is expected to advise on AI regulation, national security applications, and coordination with private industry as the administration expands oversight of the rapidly growing sector. Bondi was recently diagnosed with cancer. Jill Biden faces backlash over comments she's made about former President Joe Biden.
Former First Lady Jill Biden is facing renewed scrutiny after saying in a recent interview that she feared that then President Joe Biden may have been having a stroke during his 2024 debate performance.
As I watched it, I thought, oh my God, he's having a stroke. And it scared me to death.
The comments have sparked criticism from both Democrats and Republicans, with CNN's Abby Phillips saying the party should confront questions about transparency surrounding Biden's health during the campaign. Ron Warner, USA Radio News.
From America's News Network, USA Radio News.
No matter who we are or where we come from, we all experience difficulties in life.
Military veterans know that sometimes it takes strength and determination to make it through.
Whether it's obvious physical challenges or struggles on the inside, it takes strength to ask for help when you need it.
I knew that I had to get support, not just for me, but for the sake of my wife and kids.
Talking about it has helped me feel more like myself again.
Honestly, it was hard to open up at first, but it's changed my life for the better.
Learn how veterans like us have reached out for help. And hear stories of strength and recovery at MakeTheConnection.net.
I heard very chilling, painful stories about the failures of people being able to get proper medical attention.
The Department of Homeland Security says 6 demonstrators were arrested for allegedly assaulting officers outside a New Jersey ICE detention facility where about 300 detainees are on a hunger strike. Mark Wayne Mullen.
They want their ethnic group or their ethnic right food. Well, they go back to their country and get whatever food they want. The fact is, we're giving them the calories they want. This isn't Holiday Inn.
Protesters claim conditions inside are inhumane. Representative Adriano Espaillat says striking detainees are being punished. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is drawing attention after posting a video showing him handling a rattlesnake with his bare hands, days after a separate viral clip of a similar animal encounter. The footage has sparked renewed debate online over his unconventional public appearances and safety concerns surrounding them. North America is hosting the World Cup. If you're going to any games in Mexico, you can do the wave, but there's something you cannot do.
We really can't tell you what the word is, but the Mexican Football Federation says it's a homophobic slur and will not be allowed at games. They've launched a campaign called The Wave Yes, the chant No. The one-word slang means male prostitute in Spanish and is shouted to distract the opposing goalkeeper. Stadium officials say fans who participate in the chant will be ejected, face FIFA fines, and could have their fan ID revoked. I'm Bree Tennis.
And I'm Anthony Lucero, USA Radio News.
Would you know where to turn if you or a loved one became paralyzed? For thousands of families, the National Paralysis Resource Center has been that lifeline. But now federal funding's at risk. Sherman Gillums Jr., a partially paralyzed Marine veteran with the Christopher and Dana Reeve Foundation, explains why.
This is about more than just a budget line. It's about veterans, caregivers, and families, real people who need these resources to live more productive and independent lives.
Learn more at ChristopherReeve.org.
Truck downtime costs you money. One hidden killer on Cummins ISX 15 engines is weak injector cups. When they leak, coolant gets into the cylinders and suddenly you're facing a big repair bill. Industrial Injection has the fix. Our Torque Lock Injector Cup Kit with a threaded Torque Lock design. These cups stay sealed for good. No more coolant leaks. No more surprise downtime. Keep your truck on the road. Ask your shop for Industrial Injection Torque Lock Injector Cups today.
Ready to beat the heat this summer? Keep your long haul, short haul, off-road adventure, or just stay cool while on site with Be Cool. Designed with on or off-the-road vehicles in mind, Be Cool offers you DC-powered cooling, low voltage protection, easy installation, and more. Beat the heat with Be Cool. It's the cooler way to go. With air conditioners for semi-trucks starting at $888. Get yours today. Visit b-coolaircon.com or call 778-590-5000. That's 778-590-5000.
All right, what do you say? Ready or not, get a new day underway. Rolling into a Friday from coast to coast. Some of our friends back on board. Steve Thompson. Morning, Steve. The overnight drive team. All the truckers on the road out there. Thank you for all you do. Yeah, Gary Montgomery. Glad you're back, Steve. Thank you. Eskimo Mom said meteorologist Nick Dunn apparently posted on Facebook the rocket explosion was caught on radar. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it was caught on the Richter scale as well. Be interested to see what kind of details come up today. Hey, speaking of going boom, what do you say, Pappy?
What's going on, Steve? Man, that was a big boom, boy. No doubt about it.
I mean, you know your pyrotechnics and your explosive devices, the shock wave that came off that thing, and the mushroom cloud. I mean, I don't know. I mean, how many tons of TNT?
There was definitely tons involved there, that's for sure. Man, I don't know. It's so big, you know. I guess once you reach a certain point, just trying to calculate some stuff in my brain here. I don't know. That was just a big boom, boy.
And that, I mean, I would assume that whole launch pad's probably got to be wiped out.
Yeah, I'm sure anything that wasn't flat concrete laying flat is probably gone. You know that video you sent me, Steve. Now, when you watch that, right?
Mm-hmm.
It looks like as soon as they get ready to launch that thing, you see a spew of stuff coming up out. I'm wondering if that was like some massive fuel leak. Because as soon as they hit the ignition, all that stuff around the rocket that was being spewed out caught fire, right?
Yep.
And then the boom came, you know. So
you see the ignition in the lower stage, obviously, and then it looks like, you know, something ran up in the midship, right where the second stage would be. There was a fire there, and then everything went up together.
Yeah, but I'm just wondering if that was fuel being spewed out. I don't know, because it looked like it, you know, it caught. I don't.
Yeah.
It looked to me like one of them fuel airburst bombs, you know, that went off. Man, it was, whew. Yeah, man, several tons of TNT there. That's for damn sure. But hey, man, when we talk about the filibuster again, I know Grumps Up goes back and forth on this, but you know what, Steve? Here's the problem. If you would have asked our founding fathers about this situation we are in. These left Democrats are not living in reality, right? And if you would have said, hey, if we got a third of Congress, maybe half of Congress, people in office that are socialist/communist in our government, what do we do about this filibuster? So they're going to dump it when they get in, and they're going to have their way. So, like I said last night or the night before, dude, if we can pull these midterms off where we get the numbers we need where we don't have to dump the filibuster, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Did you hear Dr. Jill?
Yeah. What do you think? If my spouse were on stage and I thought my spouse was having a stroke, I think I'd be saying something at that point in time, not a year and a half later.
Yeah, it's BS. Steve, after that was over, the debate, they left and did a press conference at a Waffle House and then went and did another after debate thing where you seen Joe or Jill on stage standing with Joe, who's standing there like a zombie, and he won the debate. Jill's doing all the talking.
She was praising him. He answered all the questions. He did a wonderful job. Yeah.
Steve, just to rehash this, we had a man in office that was obviously in cognitive trouble. And his party was covering for him. His wife was covering for him. The news media was covering this up. We had a man walking around with the nuclear codes that could blow this planet up with a wrong touch of the button it's just crazy. I mean, we talked about this before. No sense to rehash it. But for Jill to come out, I think he was having a stroke. Well, why didn't you take his ass to the hospital?
Mm-hmm.
Why wasn't he admitted into the hospital and checked then? You weren't too concerned now, were you, Jill? It's BS trying to cover for him. Well, let's see. What else is in the news? I guess federal judge is allowing Trump's Federal Registration Voting Act to go through. So that's a win. Also, we need to keep an eye. I believe it's the Supreme Court has it right now about this citizens' birthright deal. If this thing gets voted down, this would be a big win, Steve.
Okay.
This whole birthright citizenship. It's crazy. That some illegal can cross the border, 9 months pregnant, drop the baby. The baby's now a citizen, and the baby and mommy and everybody else gets social help from the government. So hopefully this Supreme Court will rule right on this and reverse this whole thing. That's about really all I kind of had, man. I guess second time's a charm. Ain't that something? A little software update there?
Yep.
Yeah, a little notification would be nice.
Yep. You're one of 3,000 customers. Okay.
Well, even at work, Steve, I mean, even our MDCs, they'd always give us a big warning, and it was always on Sundays, right? Between like 5 a.m. and 9 a.m. It would take several hours for them to do their updates. Correct. It was always on a Sunday, Sunday morning, right around 5. Things would go down for a few hours. I was always off when it happened, but So it's just a necessary evil, I guess. Haven't heard anything else about Iran or anything. I don't know. Who knows? Kind of like Grump and Eagle, man. I get tired of thinking about it. There were a lot of good points made last night from your callers, though. Dude, I hope. Listen, man, we're not sitting in the White House. We're not sitting in the Situation Room, and hearing what's really going on. But if Trump thinks he can make it through the primaries, right, hold off and hope that we smoke the primaries and keep dealing with Iran, I believe that's going to be a political mistake that could haunt him for the rest of his life. So I hope that ain't the case. We need this thing resolved by July 4th. That should be his goal, right? 4th of July celebration. Hey, war's over. Mullahs are gone. They violated Dan Bongino's rule, number 1 rule, don't get dead. They're all dead.
Right.
So, just knock on wood and keep watching the news, I guess. Keep our ears open and see what happens here. But need to get it done, man. Get back on track here. All right, bud. Appreciate the call. Just sitting here waiting for 0500. One of the trucks that pulls a lot of these cones just rolled up, and he's just sitting there, and now another county car just passed me. Wonder where the hell he's going. Wonder if they opened up 126, Ronald Reagan. I don't know. Maybe we might be going home soon here. I don't know.
There you go. See. If they start picking up the barrels.
Once in a while, they'll tell you you're out till 5, but they might pack up early. So fine with me. Let's go. Call it a night. 2-7 for the remainder. Watch your 6, Steve. Appreciate it.
Have a great weekend. Thanks for checking in, Pappy. Well, a Friday. Hello, Silver Bullet.
How you doing, Steve-O? I'm glad you got all them problems fixed. I've been trying to get in since before Corbin, Kentucky. I'm in Knoxville now.
Oh boy.
Oh, it's been a hell of a day, hasn't it? I just want to let you know I've been driving for over 30 years now, and I got to finally go to downtown Pittsburgh this morning. Saw the old Three Rivers football stadium, all the high rises, and I just thought that was the neatest thing because I had never been down there in downtown Pittsburgh in all my years of driving. And I come across Kennywood amusement park like Dollywood there in Pittsburgh, and I never knew it existed. And I'm thinking Kennywood, Kenny Rogers, Dollywood, Dolly Parton.
Yeah.
I was like, that's a big coincidence, you know. Yeah, and she's opening these truck stops, and I can't wait to get by one of them. I'm really looking forward to that, especially since you mentioned the cafe. You know, like you said, you just don't have that in these travel centers anymore. It's all this fast food stuff. You don't have a restaurant to speak of anymore. A sit-down restaurant that's not fast food.
And I'm thinking, you're supposed to have the Tennessee hospitality. I'm thinking they should have like some down-home cooking.
Yeah, exactly. We ate at one year. We ate at Loretta Lynn's kitchen in central to western Tennessee, over there on the other side of Nashville, and that was pretty good food. I got to thinking about what Grump was talking about the AI. I can see Steve Sommers, the hologram, the AI, the voice, and you're actually at home playing Pickle Tickle with Princess.
Oh boy!
I can just see that happening right now. But yeah, that AI is getting serious. just a few thoughts on a Friday. It's a casual Friday, and no, I'm not driving naked.
I'm glad to hear that. That's good to know.
Oh, yeah, I'm just going down to Choo Choo and then over into your old neck of the woods in the morning to Shaw, down at Ringgold, and head for L.A. Going to L.A. tomorrow, so be heading out west. I just hope it's not as windy as it was 2 weeks ago when I was out there. What else is there? Oh, the other night, did Pappy catch that license plate on that Charger that went by?
Good question. Yeah.
We all heard that. I'm just wondering if he got the license plate because it sounded like he was moving.
He was hauling ass.
Yeah. You going to try to get the pool open this weekend?
Well, I'm thinking, based on the calendar, I did get out there and try to pump some of the water off the cover because we had so much rain last week. I'll check in the morning and I'm going to try to get it open. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I saw that coming in on 70 east of Columbus. The closer to Columbus I got, I could see the flooding out in the fields. And I was like, y'all got a lot of rain. I haven't seen a whole bunch of it, but y'all got a lot of rain the last few days.
Yep.
And I guess y'all are going to get some more, right?
I have not done an in-depth check of my weekend forecast here locally. I'll have to.
Oh,
I hope not.
Oh, that reminds me. I saw a thing today on Google that it's AccuWeather put it out that they the La Nina El Nino is building, and it's supposed to be really, really super El Nino, I think is what they called it.
Correct.
It's starting to build right now, they said, out in the Pacific. It's growing, it's getting bigger, and I think that might be why that y'all are staying kind of cooler, and the Northeast is staying kind of cooler. I don't know. It's just a thought. I don't know a whole lot about the weather except what I read.
Undoubtedly, the El Nino has global impacts, and if it does become, the super El Nino that they're kind of referencing, it undoubtedly has global impacts on weather patterns. But I got an email forwarded to me this past day from our old buddy Horse Feathers, and undoubtedly this should, the email that had gone out to all the participants there at the Mother's Day convoy, and I'll just share it with you. Thank you for another heartfelt, impactful Mother's Day truck convoy weekend. What all of you accomplished once again this year was truly remarkable. The time, energy, fundraising, heart, and dedication you pour into convoy year after year changes lives for local Wish kids and their families. Many of you spent decades building this event, forming relationships with Wish children, volunteers, and fellow drivers that go far beyond a single day in May. We never take that commitment for granted. We also wanted you to hear directly from us about an important update regarding next year's convoy. Last week, we learned that Mannheim Auto Auction will no longer be available to host the Mother's Day truck convoy. Like many of you may be feeling, this news was unexpected for all of us. We're incredibly grateful for the past 6 years at Mannheim Auto Auction for everything their team did to help support this event and our Wish families. Most importantly, please know this: finding a new home for the convoy is already one of our highest priorities. We've been in this situation before, which brought us to Mannheim Auto Auction in the first place. We're confident we will again find a suitable solution. We understand how much this event means to this community because we see the impact every year, not just in the funds raised, but in the relationships, the traditions, memories created through Convoy. Yeah, the heart of this event has never been about location. It's always been the drivers, the Wish families, the volunteers, the sponsors who show up year after year. We know how much your work you've put in over the past several months, and especially in the final weeks of this campaign. As you continue your fundraising efforts and work toward securing a spot in the 27 top 30, please know how deeply we value the trust, passion, and commitment you bring to this mission. Your dedication is making a meaningful impact, and we're incredibly grateful for everything you and all the drivers do. Life-changing wishes. Okay. So thanks again for all you do for the Wish Kids and for standing with us as we get into the next chapter. We promise to keep you updated as the conversations progress. So, new location must be found. They've got, well, I mean, you can't say they've got a whole year. It takes a lot to get it all settled and in place. So they're going to be kind of scrambling, I guess, technically, for the moment to find a new venue there. Well, surprise, surprise. What day is it?
Surprise, surprise. It's one day closer to the greatest day of the week.
I'll be damned. Hello, Captain Ron.
How are you?
Hanging with them.
I'm still hanging in there. Just doing that deal, you know. That impersonator, I think he's stolen my identity, sounds like.
He can't
get on here earlier.
I mean, for all the tries, he just can't get it right. He says, it's one day closer to Monday. It's like, no, you big dummy. It's one day closer to the greatest day of the week. Hello?
Right. That's why I think he's a hacker. I think it's a hacker trying to be an imposter. I appreciate it, though. Yeah, he was wrong on my Friday mornings, though. I get into Miami about the time the show starts, and then I'm pedaling the freight. Then by the time it's over, the show's almost over then.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't call usually.
Okay.
I only had 2 stops tonight with 2 whole pallets. So it went pretty quick tonight, thankfully.
That makes for an easy night.
Yeah, it's kind of nice to have a short night.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't hear anything over on my side of the state about that explosion. I guess I would have been around Sarasota at that time, but I didn't hear anything or see anything. And didn't even hear anything until the show started.
Well, I guarantee anybody that was close to the Cape out there, they saw the sky light up.
Yeah, I would imagine so, and they probably felt it.
They felt the ground shake. Yeah, the shock wave would be interesting to see. Yeah, just how far into that shock wave actually reached. We got to pause. It's News Break, the Steve Sommers Overnight Drive.
USA Radio News, I'm Anthony Lucero. Iran is wary of Somaliland as a potential Western military foothold.
Reports say Iran views the breakaway territory of Somaliland as a potential Western military foothold that could shift influence in the Red Sea region. Analysts suggest access to its deepwater ports and airfields could affect how the U.S. and allies respond to Houthi disruptions of shipping lanes. Somaliland has offered cooperation with Washington, while U.S. officials publicly maintain coordination with Somalia as they assess regional security options. Ron Warner, USA Radio News.
U.S. forces conducted an operation in Nigeria targeting ISIS-linked militants accused of attacks on Christian communities. Defense officials say the mission was coordinated with Nigerian authorities and aimed at degrading extremist networks in West Africa, as well as disrupting future attacks. From America's News Network, USA Radio News.
Business owners, are you paying high phone bills for old school systems and lousy service? StrongTel cuts your phone bills in half and turns every phone you own into a feature-rich business system. Sean Roddy, CEO of Hennings Brothers Drilling, had this to say. We've been a StrongTel customer for over 10 years. It's great. It even includes an intercom with video to our equipment yard. I can watch live from anywhere with my smartphone. I'd recommend StrongTel to anyone. Never miss a customer call again with your StrongTel business system. StrongTel is a proud iTex partner and always welcomes your iTex dollars. You'll get award-winning StrongTel service, a business-class phone system, and cut your phone bill in half. Visit strongtel.com. That's StrongTel, StrongTel.com. It's StrongTel.
Truck downtime costs you money. One hidden killer on Cummins ISX 15 engines is weak injector cups. When they leak, coolant gets into the cylinders and suddenly you're facing a big repair bill. Industrial Injection has the fix. Our Torque Lock Injector Cup Kit with a threaded Torque Lock design. These cups stay sealed for good. No more coolant leaks. No more surprise downtime. Keep your truck on the road. Ask your shop for Industrial Injection Torque Lock Injector Cups today.
Dean Michael, the tax doctor, here with Tax Help MD. As many of you know from Steve Sommers' show, I've been helping professional drivers solve their tax problems. I can help you too. If you've been struggling with back tax debt, call me now at 888-557-4020. Let's face it, these problems aren't going away all on their own. You need professional help so you can sleep better at night knowing you're in good hands. It's like I always say, keep your eyes on the road, I'll keep my eyes on the IRS. 888-557-4020.
Your factory fuel filter is letting you down. AirDog heavy-duty diesel fuel systems don't just filter your fuel. The AirDog fully optimizes your truck's fuel system for peak efficiency. The factory-provided filter simply removes particulates and water from fuel. The AirDog system removes all contaminants, including entrained air, water, and particulates, and feeds the engine pump with optimal pressure. Check out airdogdiesel.com to learn how you can capture every bit of performance and efficiency from your fuel system.
Truckers spend lots of hours on the road, so when it comes to staying connected, you need a headset that works just as hard as you do. Blue Parrot is the #1 headset brand for professional drivers, and we've taken the quality you've come to expect from us and made it even better. Check out our newest headsets, the Pro B350 and Pro B450, offering you more hours of talk time, better voice control, extreme comfort, and industry-leading AI voice isolation microphones, so you can spend more time talking about the important things and less time repeating yourself. To get yours, check out BlueParrot.com. Blue Parrot, hear and be heard.
Like the men and women who power America, the people at Hot Shot Secret work hard and play harder. We're the fastest growing diesel and oil additive brand in the country. We solve problems. We protect engines. We save you money. And more importantly, time. Hot Shot Secret. Powered by science.
Ready to beat the heat this summer? Keep your long haul, short haul, off-road adventure, or just stay cool while on site with Be Cool. Designed with on or off-the-road vehicles in mind, Be Cool offers you DC-powered cooling, low voltage protection, easy installation, and more. Beat the heat with Be Cool. It's the cooler way to go. With air conditioners for semi-trucks starting at $888. Get yours today. Visit b-coolaircon.com or call 778-590-5000. That's 778-590-5000.
The Overnight Drive with Steve Sommers. Live from the Hot Shot Secret Studios. Call Steve now. 844-844-3388. That's 844-844-3388.
Okay, rolling into a Friday. What's on tap for the weekend here? Yeah, I checked local forecast. No, we don't have no rain in the forecast. Cloudy skies, but yeah, we should be drying out a bit over the next few days here in the Ohio Valley. There. All right, good to hear from Cap and Ron this morning. Welcome back.
Well, we've been in a rain pattern over my neck of the woods here lately. looks like rain every day for the next, looks like week anyway. But that changed really fast. And we're only a couple more days from Florida's favorite season, hurricane season.
Yeah, and they're talking like we could have our first, tropical rainstorm or maybe a named storm sometime next week.
Yeah, I hate that time of the year. I think I got PTSD from all of it last year, but I don't know. It is what it is, I guess. I could live in Oklahoma and be worried about tornadoes all the time, or up your neck of the woods and blizzards and all that, tornadoes. But anyway, I guess it is what it is, right?
Yeah, you got to deal with it. That's the part of the pleasure of living in paradise.
Right. Well, I don't know if it's paradise anymore. They keep building up so much stuff that all the roads are jammed full, and it's just crazy down here now.
Right.
Since I moved down. Has your gas dropped? I saw it under $4 today for the first time, and I don't know how long on my way to work. It dropped. I think it dropped close to 20 cents. It don't usually drop that fast. I don't know what happened, but I'm not complaining.
I think
I kind of think like
we're still averaging close to $4.50 last I saw.
Wow. I kind of agree with Pappy, and if something ain't done with this Iran situation, I don't think we stand a snowball chance in
the midterms.
You know where?
Yeah.
For the midterms. I mean, first it was tariffs, and then everything went up. Now the gas went up, and it doesn't look like it. Well, I don't know now, but from everything you hear, the gas isn't going to come down for maybe a year. So I don't know. I don't think it would fare very well if something isn't resolved over there pretty quick. But that's about all I've got. We were supposed to have a couple of launches over there at Kennedy tomorrow. Maybe Philip can fill us in if he calls in and let us know. If he usually don't call on Fridays, though, right?
I know he's up and at 'em. He did make a post on the Facebook video with the explosion. He said that's why everything is miles away from the coast out there. For just
right.
I did see that in the wake of the New Glenn explosion, it's at SpaceX's website. Countdown continues ticking toward an 8:03 a.m. liftoff this morning. It's another Starlink mission.
Right.
That's slated this morning.
Right.
12 hours later, they're supposed to have another Atlas V rocket. 7:30 p.m.
Right.
I guess. So the clock's ticking.
Yep,
they
that's
say.
That's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, maybe it's not where those other close to where those others will be, or maybe it won't affect it.
I don't know how many miles apart those pads are. Old Wheelchair Dave could have filled us in on that. You got all the different launch pads. I guess there's miles separation between each. I mean, and right now Philip said they're building a pad for Starship to eventually begin launching. Rather than southern Texas there at the Starbase, they're building a pad out there. But we've seen several such catastrophic explosions of previous Starship launches. All right, we're underway on a Friday. See what's going on. Been a few days since we've talked to Plowboy. How's
Good morning, Steve.
How's your week gone?
Well, not too much. Ready for the weekend?
I guess.
Yeah, as I heard, getting that pool already. Well, that'll be good. A good weekend to do it. Real quick, got a bitch and a gripe report. If you get a minute, just came across something I'm not very happy on what's going to go up here in our town of the bright lights. I don't know what dates were affected up here yet. I haven't been told this one. But we got the World Cup coming to town, and
yeah,
basically KCTV Channel 5 has basically put in a notice to all trucks, stay the hell out of town. That is going to be the dastardly move of a century. Because, hell, we're right in the heart of America. That's a problem. You got 35, 29, now you got 49, 70, all of them right through there. And so I guess we're going to be hearing drivers call in wherever they're playing these stupid games at. Major slowdowns. I think it's all craziness, but anyway, that's just the way I look at it. But I think Gilligan caused you to lose your show for that time a little bit because Stevie threatened you tonight. Remember, he said he was going to wake up Charlie, and Charlie's going to call in later on.
Oh, yeah, that's scary.
That was the last few words, and all of a sudden, my headset went dark. Like,
yeah, right.
wow, because I was on hold at that time. But I do have a word for your favorite congressman, I think. Jerry Nadler, if you're so worried about them damn illegal bastards up there, I got a bulldozer chain. I'll tie you to one of them, and you could sleep with the bastards in their facility and just see how well they are treated. I could give a rat's ass less how they are treated in there. And why all of a sudden Jerry Nadler thinks he's going to be the one that specializes in their treatment. I don't care.
I mean, he's not even running again, I don't think. I think he's done, isn't he?
Yeah, he's toast. Yeah, he's out.
Yeah.
And it couldn't happen any sooner, but why these congressmen cannot see what, and the senators cannot see what these detention centers are for is beyond me. And I have the same problem. I was talking to a friend of mine. I wish he would forget my number at times. He was, well, we need to take down these frog cameras. We need to take down these frog cameras. I said, well, funny thing about it, you're in the DOT. You had no problem putting cameras up, taking pictures of truck plates going across the scales. And that started years ago. Hey, they're still there. But yeah, all these municipalities are worried about a frog camera taking pictures of some damn illegal that somebody might get a picture of where they're at and they might get their asses deported. I have not a problem. Deport them all. Get done with it. I'm so dang tired of these lefty wannabes. Oh, we can't do anything against their rights. They have no rights, Steve. I don't think I would be arguing against anybody in our wonderful show that you've got here because they hurt our country. They've stole from our country. They've killed our people. Ship them all out and get it done with. But now I did see that. I am like yourself. I would like to see them pull what that Richter hit down there in Florida.
Yeah.
I think that the level of the ground, I'm surprised, honestly. We didn't hear a backwards, maybe a little bit of a tsunami that could have came in off the East Coast. Because, see that rattle like, what, the Challenger when it blew up? You remember that, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
And you remember what caused it? It was a leak.
And looking at the video, I mean, if you, especially if you kind of slow the video down, you can see again it was supposed to be a static launch, as they call it. You see the ignition the typical orange flame underneath, but in a matter of seconds, the second stage somehow had ignited, and up she went. Undoubtedly, it had to measure something on the Richter scale. We'll find out later today. Well, let me see. FreightWaves reporting for our former Yellow employees who've been waiting and waiting. What, like 3 years waiting now? It's like Senior Heat Wave, Brain Dead, and a number of others. You might finally receive payment for unused vacation and accrued sick leave. However, some hurdles still have to be cleared. According to the memo from the Teamsters to Yellow's local unions this week. Of course, we had the bankruptcy court in Delaware approved that final liquidation plan back in November, calling for the proceeds from the sale of Yellow's assets to be placed in a liquidating trust. The transition is now expected to occur sometime June or July. Employee claims were classified as priority by the plan and required to be paid. However, the parties still haven't reached a settlement on the value of the claims. And of course, Yellow's largest shareholder, the hedge fund NFN Partners, appealed a pension withdrawal liability settlement, but the memo said the final bankruptcy plan can still move forward. Through the last 2 years, the Teamsters have engaged in settlement negotiations related to the contract-based claims against Yellow. These claims include accrued and unused paid time off, as well as individual and group grievances. While substantial progress has been made on agreeing to the amounts of these claims that should be allowed, there's a few disagreements on valuation that still has to be resolved, they say. The liquidating trustee will be responsible for resolving the remaining claims, making distribution to creditors, including former employees. The memo noted the bankruptcy court will need to approve any settlements reached between the Teamsters and the trustee. It also said other creditors of Yellow's estate can object to any settlement reached or appeal any settlement that the court approves. I guess that means they can drag this out who knows how long. All right, an April operating report for Yellow's estate showed $601 million cash balance. All right, the memo did tell former employees, keep your addresses updated with your local unions. The trustee is expected to distribute future payments via direct deposit or by mail for members who have since closed their bank accounts. 844-844-3388.
Truck downtime costs you money. One hidden killer on Cummins ISX-15 engines is weak injector cups. When they leak, coolant gets into the cylinders and suddenly you're facing a big repair bill. Industrial Injection has the fix. Our Torque Lock Injector Cup Kit with a threaded Torque Lock design. These cups stay sealed for good. No more coolant leaks. No more surprise downtime. Keep your truck on the road. Ask your shop for Industrial Injection Torque Lock Injector Cups today.
At Hot Shot Secret, we share the science behind common diesel problems and their solutions. For example,
Hot Shot Secret Diesel Extreme.
Today's ultra-low sulfur fuels leave injector deposits causing frequent DPF regens and low throttle response. Diesel Extreme is a once every 6-month treatment that will clean your entire fuel system, including the tank, lines, pump, and the injectors.
Hot Shot Secret Diesel Extreme is available nationwide at truck stops, Fine Farm and auto stores, and online at hotshotsecret.com.
Your factory fuel filter is letting you down. AirDog heavy-duty diesel fuel systems don't just filter your fuel. The AirDog fully optimizes your truck's fuel system for peak efficiency. The factory-provided filter simply removes particulates and water from fuel. The AirDog system removes all contaminants, including entrained air, water, and particulates, and feeds the engine pump with optimal pressure. Check out airdogdiesel.com to learn how you can capture every bit of performance miles and efficiency from your fuel system.
Dean Michael, the tax doctor here. Are you tired of those tax problems following you around like a dark cloud, always in the back of your mind, losing sleep at night? Call me now and get your life back. 888-557-4020 or go to mytaxhelpmd.com. Pretending they're not there won't make them go away. The IRS isn't going to forget. They will levy your bank account and garnish your wages. Don't wait for that to happen. I'm not telling you these things to scare you. I'm telling you so you can benefit from my years of experience. Now is the time to act. 888-557-4020.
Yeah, Plowboy mentioned the whole World Cup thing. It's almost here, and there will be impacts. Let me start with obviously concerns about people coming in from all over the world, including some of the countries with Ebola concerns. According to the announcement this past day, the United States, Mexico, and Canada have announced aligned public health travel measures for people coming from African regions at the greatest risk for Ebola, as they aim to protect citizens and visitors. According to this statement, the World Health Organization on May 17, as we know, declared Ebola in the Democratic Republic of Congo a public health emergency of international concern. And there's a risk it could spread to neighboring countries. That's prompted governments to step up travel-related containment measures. Of course, Washington announced last week they've banned non-citizens who had traveled to the Congo, Uganda, or South Sudan in recent weeks from entering the U.S. Then Friday, the ban was extended by the Centers for Disease Control to any green card holders who have been in those countries in the previous 21 days, 3 weeks. Canada has banned residents from the DRC, Uganda, and South Sudan from entering their country for 90 days. That started on Wednesday. Canadian citizens, permanent residents, and other foreign nationals who've been in affected areas in recent weeks and do not have symptoms will have to quarantine for 21 days, starting May 30th, tomorrow, Saturday, according to this statement from Canada's Public Health Agency. Meanwhile, Mexico's health secretary on Monday outlined tighter Ebola screening measures at airports, urging the public to avoid, obviously, travel to the Democratic Republic of Congo, asking arrivals from the country to observe a 21-day quarantine. On the trucking side, also kind of revolving around the World Cup, the Commercial Vehicle Safety Alliance is going to hold a special commercial vehicle initiative next week in response to the increased risk of human trafficking associated with the World Cup soccer tournament. Starting next Monday through Friday, the CVSA will spearhead a special human trafficking awareness initiative to address the increased risk of human trafficking associated with large-scale international events like this. Member countries, Canada, Mexico, U.S., are collectively, of course, hosting the World Cup that runs the 11th of June through the 19th of July. The purpose, they say, is to educate truck drivers, motor carriers, law enforcement officers, and the public about the signs of human trafficking and what to do if you suspect someone is being trafficked. Human trafficking is a significant concern surrounding major events such as this upcoming soccer competition. We'll have a massive influx of visitors, increased demand for, well, they use the word hospitality, a friendly young woman, and strained local resources and personnel. Such a large-scale special event is going to increase the demand for commercial sex, which could increase sex trafficking, and vulnerable workers in certain industries may suffer from labor trafficking during the preparation and production of the event, according to the CVSA. So this is being conducted in addition to the annual CVSA trafficking event that was held in January of this year, here a few months ago. And you may have caught some of our public service announcements running in recent days from the organization TAT, Truckers Against Trafficking. As we're in the process of teaming up with them, we're going to be having some guests on introducing. We've got some. Let's see if I could pull that up in my email box real quick. I think it was Laura, and she's going to be explaining to us on the program sometime here in the coming weeks. They have what they call the Harriet Tubman Award Campaign. Okay, so they're going to be explaining how that works. Again, Truckers Against Trafficking. So I think it's Laura Cyrus that'll be joining us at some point here, trying to get it on the calendar here in the coming days. But all right, it's 844-844-3388. I see Newsbreak is just moments away. So coming up, we'll check in with Eagle, send your heat wave, and on down the line we roll into a Friday. First, Canadian Air bringing dry, pleasant weather from the Great Lakes to the Mid-Atlantic. They tell us this weekend there will be some chilly rain soaking parts of northern New England, but the cooler weather's already begun moving in as of yesterday. Compared with your midweek highs, you're running a good 5-10 degrees lower in many areas, and you may have noticed the humidity's dropped big time. The dry air will play a role in the weekend weather from Michigan and Ohio to the East Coast, New York, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, Virginia. Much different conditions compared to last weekend when we saw round after round of chilly rain and miserable conditions for outdoor activities. Next several days, including Saturday and Sunday, going to be dry, lower humidity across much of the region, with at least a little bit of sunshine here and there. There's going to be another push of cool air coming in Saturday. Temperature's going to drop another 10 or 15 degrees there in the northeast. Definitely going to cool off a bit over the weekend. All right, as we hit the top of the hour, rolling up toward the midnight hour on the West Coast, news, a service of Industrial Injection, heavy-duty diesel parts and solutions, from injectors and pumps to turbochargers and engines built for the trucks that cannot afford downtime. Learn more at industrialinjection.com.
Truck downtime costs you money. One hidden killer on Cummins ISX15 engines is weak injector cups. When they leak, coolant gets into the cylinders and suddenly you're facing a big repair bill. Industrial Injection has the fix. Our Torque Lock Injector Cup Kit with a threaded Torque Lock design. These cups stay sealed for good. No more coolant leaks. No more surprise downtime. Keep your truck on the road. Ask your shop for Industrial Injection Torque Lock Injector Cups today.
Truckers spend lots of hours on the road. So when it comes to staying connected, you need a headset that works just as hard as you do. Blue Parrot is the #1 headset brand for professional drivers, and we've taken the quality you've come to expect from us and made it even better. Check out our newest headsets, the Pro B350 and Pro B450, offering you more hours of talk time, better voice control, extreme comfort, and industry-leading AI voice isolation microphones. So you can spend more time talking about the important things and less time repeating yourself. To get yours, check out BlueParrot.com. Blue Parrot, hear and be heard.
Your factory fuel filter is letting you down. AirDog heavy-duty diesel fuel systems don't just filter your fuel. The AirDog fully optimizes your truck's fuel system for peak efficiency. The factory-provided filter simply removes particulates and water from fuel. The AirDog system removes all contaminants, including entrained air, water, and particulates, and feeds the engine pump with optimal pressure. Check out AirDogDiesel.com to learn how you can capture every bit of performance and efficiency efficiency from your fuel system. Ready to beat the heat this summer? Keep your long haul, short haul, off-road adventure, or just stay cool while on site with Be Cool. Designed with on or off-the-road vehicles in mind, Be Cool offers you DC-powered cooling, low voltage protection, easy installation, and more. Beat the heat with Be Cool. It's the cooler way to go. With air conditioners for semi-trucks starting at $888. Get yours today. Visit b-coolaircon.com or call 778-590-5000. That's 778-590-5000.
USA Radio News, I'm Anthony Lucero. Iran is wary of Somaliland as a potential Western military foothold.
Reports say Iran views the breakaway territory of Somaliland as a potential Western military foothold that could shift influence in the Red Sea region. Analysts suggest access to its deepwater ports and airfields could affect how the U.S. and allies respond to Houthi disruptions of shipping lanes. Somaliland has offered cooperation with Washington, while U.S. officials publicly maintain coordination with Somalia as they assess regional security options. Ron Warner, USA Radio News.
U.S. forces conducted an operation in Nigeria targeting ISIS-linked militants accused of attacks on Christian communities. Defense officials say the mission was coordinated with Nigerian authorities and aimed at degrading extremist networks in West Africa, as well as disrupting future attacks. Vice President J.D. Vance congratulated the U.S. Air Force Academy class of 2026, telling over 900 new Air Force and Space Force officers they should feel proud but sobered by their responsibilities.
And now, class of 2026, you join that long blue line at a moment when your nation needs your skill. Your nation needs your adaptability.
Vance says they are entering a new era of warfare during his commencement address at the Academy. Dengue fever cases are skyrocketing across America. The CDC says cases of the mosquito-borne illness, which was once confined to the tropics, has surged 359% over the usual yearly average in 2024.
While 97% of the cases were travel-related, CDC scientists say the risk of local transmissions increasing over time. There were roughly 100 locally acquired documented cases in 3 states, Florida, California, and Texas, and they were found in multiple counties. John Sommers, USA Radio News.
From America's News Network, USA Radio News.
Business owners, are you paying high phone bills for old school systems and lousy service? StrongTel cuts your phone bills in half and turns every phone you own into a feature-rich business system. Sean Roddy, CEO of Hennings Brothers Drilling, had this to say: "We've been a StrongTel customer for over 10 years. It's great. It even includes an intercom with video to our equipment yard. I can watch live from anywhere with my smartphone. I'd recommend StrongTel to anyone. Never miss a customer call again with your StrongTel business system. StrongTel is a proud iTex partner and always welcomes your iTex dollars. You'll get award-winning StrongTel service, a business-class phone system, and cut your phone bill in half. Visit StrongTel.com. That's StrongTel, StrongTel.com. It's StrongTel.
U.S. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche says prosecutions are coming as clashes continue between protesters and ICE at Newark's Delaney Hall Detention Center.
Those rioters and the violence that we saw on our streets in Jersey the last couple days is not going to be tolerated.
Blanche called the actions not peaceful protests, alleging threats against officers, and criticized local law enforcement for not assisting ICE. Farmland title fraud is on the rise as scammers increasingly target rural property owners and impersonate landowners to illegally list or sell agricultural land. Experts say the schemes are becoming more sophisticated, urging landowners to closely monitor records, verify transactions, and use fraud alerts to protect property ownership and prevent unauthorized transfers. Texas news anchor James Epler of KJTV in Lubbock is facing backlash after making a bizarre on-air remark about a BTS-themed Oreo collaboration, claiming the cookie design spelled out a message about America.
It was one of
13 designs which spell out a message to fans when put together, and that is Death to America.
The comments spread quickly online, prompting criticism and calls for accountability over the segment. Epler said it was just a joke. BTS is a Korean K-pop musical act.
At the closing bell, the Dow Jones Industrial Average climbed 24 points, the S&P 500 gained 43 points, and the NASDAQ surged again, rising 242 points. I'm Sarah Lee Kessler.
For USA Radio News, I'm Anthony Lucero.
iLocal.net is offering a free website analysis to improve the online presence of your business. Business owners across the U.S. turn to iLocal.net to improve their search engine rankings. Search engines are constantly changing their algorithms. You need the professionals who know how to use those changes to benefit your business. Don't hope for new customers. Get found and be chosen. Visit iLocal.net/go for your free website analysis. iLocal.net/go.
Truck downtime costs you money. One hidden killer on Cummins ISX15 engines is weak injector cups. When they leak, coolant gets into the cylinders and suddenly you're facing a big repair bill. Industrial Injection has the fix. Our Torque Lock Injector Cup Kit with a threaded Torque Lock design. These cups stay sealed for good. No more coolant leaks. No more surprise downtime. Keep your truck on the road. Ask your shop for Industrial Injection Torque Lock Injector Cups today.
Like the men and women who power America, the people at Hot Shot Secret work hard and play harder. We're the fastest growing diesel and oil additive brand in the country. We solve problems. We protect engines. We save you money. And more importantly, time. Hot Shot Secret, powered by science.
You're listening to the Overnight Drive with Steve Summers.
Alrighty, back as we cross over the midnight hour on the West Coast. How about a Friday? Ready or not, here it is. What's on tap for the weekend, Eagle?
Yeah, I'm still out here on the road. Yeah, I'll probably have to stay out this week and then go home next weekend to Texas. Yeah, I'll probably be back home next Monday or Tuesday. Well, Sunday night. Yeah, I got to try to make this money while it's still out there. While it's still good, Steve. It's pretty busy for us right now with these Walmart loads. They keeping us pretty busy with Walmart, so you shouldn't have. There's always going to be freight for those guys. And it's light loads, so you don't have to worry about the scales and all that nonsense, burning fuel. And loads are less than 10,000, 15,000 pounds. So you don't even have to worry about scaling the loads or nothing. So that's the way it's supposed to be. So, and I got the dry van, so I just do dropping hooks, and I don't have to do no sitting around waiting to get unloaded. I just drop the trailer at this Walmart and then get an empty trailer and start rolling to the next place. If I'm on a Walmart load, we got other customers too, but Walmart is the easiest one. But I wanted to ask you a couple of questions. Well, I wanted to ask you one question tonight, Steve, before I move on to this next situation that's going on. I want to talk about the Ebola virus outbreak, and I want to talk to you about the situation with Iran, this latest news. And but before that, I get to this, Steve. You know, me personally, it doesn't bother me. You know, long as U.S. taxpayer money is not being used, I really don't care. You know, but over the last couple of days, I've been looking at videos, and you got people complaining, and most of them are Democrats because they, like I say, they don't like nothing that Trump does. Only thing they want Trump to do is walk out of the White House and quit. That would make their dream come true. But yeah, Steve, I want to ask you what is your opinion? Because a lot of people don't like what's happening. Is this this UFC arena that's being put at the White House in front of the White House for the birthday celebration. A lot of people, like I said, are raising hell about it. They don't like what. Do you think that Donald Trump should build a ring in front of the White House to have a UFC match?
Well, it's pretty much there already. I know what you're talking about. I've seen some of the complaints. They've got like a photo from off in the distance saying, "What has he done?" He's got the arena on like I guess that's the south lawn. Then you can see the construction where the ballroom's supposed to be going up next door. They're trying to make it sound like Trump's just destroying the White House. I mean, the UFC arena, it's going to be up and it'll be taken down. The lawn will be back here in a few weeks. It's not a permanent thing. I don't have a problem with it.
No, I don't have no problem with it either. You know, like I say, they need to do interesting new things, you know, at the White House, you know, to make people interested in, being an American, being proud, you know, because it is 250th anniversary of the United States coming up real soon. So no, I don't have a problem with it. As long as they say the U.S. taxpayer money is not being used, that the UFC is paying for it. So if they're paying for it, I have no problem. Now, you know, I wouldn't want the government to pay for something like that because, you know, we got other issues, you know, going on, Steve. You know, that we can spend money on more serious. So long as U.S. taxpayer money is not being used for this arena, I have no problem with it. You know, what they're doing, because I like UFC, and I'll definitely be watching whenever it takes place. And I think it's going to take place in about 2 weeks, so I'll definitely be watching. But like I said, these people, Steve, ain't gonna never be happy.
Right.
You know, I just happened to be in the truck stop tonight. And when this other loser was on TV, that guy from what's his name, Hakeem, the guy from New Jersey, the loudmouth that wants to be the new what's this guy's name?
Hakeem Jeffries.
Yeah, this guy here. Yeah, he's raising hell about this situation in New Jersey, Newark, with the illegal immigrants, talking about inhumane treatment. They got a hunger strike going on. I just found out about that, man. I wanted to talk to you about that. They refusing to eat in the jail. They say the food is no good, and they being not treated good. That's what they say. Some of these illegal people. And this guy Jeffries, he's running his mouth again as usual, saying that he wants it shut down. He wants this facility shut down and all the people let out, put back out on the streets again. You know, that guy there, Steve, he's disgusting. I hope that he doesn't become the Speaker of the House, because this guy here is, he's a real loser, that guy. Some of the things that he said, he's just a thorn in Donald Trump's side, you know, for the next 2 years if he was to get that job. So hopefully he doesn't get nowhere near the White House, because this guy here is bad news. And anybody who supports that, Steve, like I say, I don't know what's going on in that facility. I don't know how they're being treated. Like I said, but they broke the law. They came to the U.S. illegally, and they need to be deported out of the country. I talked to you that the other day. It's no sooner than I said that, Steve, Tom Homan was on TV, and you know, I told you I thought that Trump went smacked up, but Tom Homan said that they still continuing operations and they still trying to get these people out. But like I said, every time they try, Steve, it's gonna be a roadblock, because these Democrats, every time, you know, you think about it like this, Steve, every time an illegal is shipped out of the country, that's one less vote that the Democrats are going to have for them, because that's all they see these people as a vote to get them back into power, because they're the only ones dumb enough to vote for them, because why wouldn't they vote for them? Somebody let you in the country and here illegally and roll out the red carpet for you. I wonder who you would vote for. So that's all they see, these people. But these people don't. They can't see that the Democrats are just using them as a pathway back into the White House. Now, as far as the last situation goes, Steve, with Iran, and you know, luckily, like I said, these guys here, you know, it looks Iran. They have, I think they're like people say, they stalling, Steve. But Donald Trump. Now I don't like that comment that he made, Because, Donald Trump is looking at it like this, Steve. He said, well, hell with it. I'm not going to be in politics no more after 28. He made a bad comment when he said that, when he said he wasn't worried about the midterms. See, that's not good because, see, if the midterms, if we lose that, we're going to lose power, and possibly, a Democrat can get back in. He shouldn't have made that comment. I understand, when you don't have no more game, part of the game after 28, he might look at it that way because he knows he's not going to be involved in politics. But then he got to think about the other Republicans. He got to think about J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio. These people are going to be involved in politics after 28, and they need the American people, the Republicans, to support them. So Donald Trump, he needs to take that comment back, and if he ain't worried about the midterms, he better be worried about them because, like I said, American people are looking at it, and like I said, I think the American people still realize the Democrats are no good because you can just go by the different elections they just had just a couple of days ago. A lot of Republicans still won, and a lot of the people that Donald Trump endorsed won. So American people, they remember what happened under Joe Biden for 4 years, and hopefully they'll be smart enough not to make that mistake again, Steve, because the next Democrat that gets in the White House, whether it's Harris or Gavin Newsom or any other loser they can come up with, they're gonna be way worse than sleepy Joe Biden. I promise you that. You think Joe Biden was a disaster? You ain't seen nothing yet. Wait till they get the next Democrat in the White House. And I thank you for taking my call.
All right. And I can't help but wonder if maybe, when he made that comment, because that's kind of made the rounds. Trump says he's not worried about the midterms. What do you mean? Like, you don't care? Yeah, if the Republicans, I think he was referencing, and unless I'm reading it wrong, the primaries that have been taking place in recent weeks, the upsets. We saw Cornyn ousted. We saw, what's his name, Massey ousted. Based on win after win after win, I think he's batting 100 with endorsements right now. Is that what he was thinking? I'm not worried about the midterms because he feels like the people, the MAGA's, still 100% behind him. But it did rub a lot of people the wrong ways. And I'm not worried about the midterms. Well, you better be, right? All right, it's 844-844-3388. Back in 2.
Truck downtime costs you money. One hidden killer on Cummins ISX-15 engines is weak injector cups. When they leak, coolant gets into the cylinders and suddenly you're facing a big repair bill. Industrial Injection has the fix. Our Torque Lock Injector Cup Kit. With a threaded Torque Lock design, these cups stay sealed for good. No more coolant leaks. No more surprise downtime. Keep your truck on the road. Ask your shop for Industrial Injection Torque Lock Injector Cups today. Want to advertise your brand on the Steve Sommers Overnight Drive and help grow your business through one of the hottest radio shows and podcasts in America? We would love to hear from you. Rates have never been better to put your brand on our show, or maybe you just want to kick the tires. Email us at ssod@hotshotsecret.com and take the first steps towards taking your brand to the next level through advertising on the Steve Sommers Overnight Drive. Your factory fuel filter is letting you down. AirDog heavy-duty diesel fuel systems don't just filter your fuel. The AirDog fully optimizes your truck's fuel system for peak efficiency. The factory-provided filter simply removes particulates and water from fuel. The AirDog system removes all contaminants, including entrained air, water, and particulates, and feeds the engine pump with optimal pressure. Check out airdogdiesel.com to learn how you can capture every bit of performance and efficiency from your fuel system.
Truckers spend lots of hours on the road, so when it comes to staying connected, you need a headset that works just as hard as you do. Blue Parrot is the #1 headset brand for professional drivers, and we've taken the quality you've come to expect from us and made it even better. Check out our newest headsets, the Pro B350 and Pro B450, offering you more hours of talk time, better voice control, extreme comfort, and industry-leading AI voice isolation microphones, so you can spend more time talking about the important things and less time repeating yourself. To get yours, check out BlueParrot.com. Blue Parrot, hear and be heard.
Down the line, we roll into a Friday. Senor Heatwave, what's happening?
Good morning, senor. Not a whole hell of a lot. Man, I'll tell you what, it looked like a damn war zone out there with the lightning. You've seen them war movies where they've got scenes of the bombs hitting the ground and it just lighting up the world. That's basically what was going on, and I think I've driven through the cell, but there's a cell heading towards Clayton, New Mexico, Boise City, Oklahoma, and it's east of Raton and Springer, New Mexico, and then there's another one just west of Raton. I don't think it's near as bad, but good night. I tell you what, that was something else. Well, you know, who that Homeland Security guy is now, you know, the people in there they're not liking the food that's being served to them because it's not, was it ethnically?
Yeah, they're indigenous, whatever indigenous food. I don't know. Some of them may want halal food, but I'm guessing most of them are just individuals that want, I guess if they're from Nicaragua, Ecuador, what kind of foods do they eat? I don't even know.
Well, it's different, and we kind of look at it as, oh, hey, this is great stuff. If you eat it once a day or once every other week or whatnot. But, yeah, like the man said, hey, we're not running a Hilton.
Yep.
You're going to lose a couple of privileges by being here illegally and being criminal to begin with. So, it's on them. They're giving them the caloric intake they're supposed to get. It's their decision whether to eat it or not. So, now to hell with them. If you don't like it, go back.
Well,
and if you...
Well, they're on a hunger strike, I guess. I mean, I don't know if you want to not eat until you die. That's by your choice. If you get hungry enough, you'll think whatever they're feeding you tastes like caviar.
Yeah. I was listening to the Five earlier, and that one woman, Jessica Tarloff. I mean, she is as blue can be, defending Democrats and proclaiming the victories of Biden when he was in the White House. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And she's talking about, well, he created 60 million jobs. And I'm thinking, no, that's not right. He didn't create anything. The jobs recovered after COVID. Whoever could come back after COVID. But there was a lot of jobs that were absolutely lost because of the shutdown, which seriously I think was a bunch of BS to begin with. But it just reminds me of why I don't listen to the Five whenever she is on the radio. She is so damn aggravating. Then you gotta know that she knows she's wrong and she's fighting the wrong battle. But by God, she's going to stick with what happened. Yeah. It's kind of like that Colin Ray song. Well, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Facts. You got to deal with facts, because feelings ain't going to cut it. You can feel that it's a bad thing, but the facts are, if they don't want to eat, fine. At least they're not getting a pot of gruel with maggots in it.
Right.
Kind of like, so anyways, all these people getting all upset over a Kennedy picking up snakes. Well, if that's what you grew up doing, then I think you have an appreciation of how dangerous, venomous snakes like the rattlesnake he picked up actually are. Whether or not it was just a PR stunt, just to have on the camera to make everybody go, oh my God. or not.
That's not the
You know,
first. That's not the first video of him I've seen. Wrangling snakes. There was one here a few months ago where I guess his wife came in the house and they were a couple of them out in I think the garage or out in the driveway, and he picked them up.
Yeah. Well, he was picking up 2 racers. They're non-lethal. I mean, they're not poisonous. But I mean, they were entangled, and he's like, "Yep, these 2 are making love, trying to make little snakes." And that's how a snake reproduces. They get tight together, and they just start twisting themselves. And it's like, "Yeah, sure, okay, you go right ahead. I'll take care of that with a damn shotgun. I don't care much for snakes." But so, anyways, yeah, I kind of lost my train of thought there with other folks talking and yapping about their different things, and it's going to be an interesting deal seeing what this potential framework is between us and Iran. It's going to give them 60 days. I don't like that setup. And Somaliland, I mean, is that actually Somalia, or is that a breakaway country from Somalia? Now, I don't give a hoot in hell if Iran don't like the idea of Somaliland offering their territory to help out with this growing concern in the Middle East. I think it's great. Just don't, I just don't want them taking advantage of us and saying, "Oh, by the way, we need X amount of money to maintain this." But, I do appreciate the fact that there's somebody out there that gives a hoot in hell about the Houthis, which Iran is being, their proxies of. I don't want the straits to be, I want them to be open as what they're supposed to be, not covered under, just one jurisdiction that Iran says that they're supposed to have. The deal with Oman, I think Oman was saying they would partner up with Iran, and that's the reason why Trump made the comment that he did. So, that he just blow them up. Well, I mean, if you're going to be joining a terrorist organization or a regime like that, hell yeah, I'd blow them up too. So, I think when Trump said he didn't care, he's not concerned about the midterms. Well, yeah, I think. I ain't going to speak for him, but I'm pretty sure that what he is seeing out there is the return of common sense, and I guess the idea is a lot more people with common sense are going to vote for the Republican candidates instead of these idiots that are trashing the country and making a damn mockery,
right?
Of
And things have gone well in the primaries, and that's a factor. Yeah. But I think the one thing like Grump brought up last evening, there's way too many people out there that don't pay any real attention to what's going on in the real world and the news, and they don't half the time don't even know who they're voting for, but they're going to vote against the one that they think is making their pocketbook lighter.
They don't have anything to run on as far as the Democrats. All they have is hate Trump, hate Trump, hate Trump. Hell, even that old grizzled idiot down in Louisiana, what's his name? I can't think of his name now. But he's always up there, "We hate you, Trump, we hate you, get the bleep out." It's like, you would not hear a Republican say that for any office holder the Democrats put in. I mean, if anyone ever said that on a podcast or whatnot, they would be absolutely thrown to the wolves. How dare you say this
Right.
to our candidate? Or our,
Right. You gotta silence. Hey, we got to pause. News break as we hit the bottom of the hour. The Steve Sommers Overnight Drive.
USA Radio News, I'm Anthony Lucero. The U.S. and Iran have reportedly reached a deal to extend the ceasefire.
The two countries reached an agreement on a 60-day memorandum of understanding. It would lead to more intense negotiations on Iran's nuclear program. This would represent a significant development after talks appeared to stall, and the two nations recently launched new strikes. John Sommers, USA Radio News.
Pam Bondi has been appointed to a White House Artificial Intelligence Advisory Committee focused on shaping federal policy on emerging technology. The panel is expected to advise on AI regulation, national security applications, and coordination with private industry as the administration expands oversight of the rapidly growing sector.
At the closing bell, the Dow Jones Industrial Average climbed 24 points, the S&P 500 gained 43 points, and the Nasdaq surged again, rising 242 points. I'm Sarah Lee Kessler.
From America's News Network, USA Radio News.
This is Denny Gillum, host of Front Lines of Freedom, here to tell you about an amazing new book, The Miracle Man, written by a good friend of mine. It's a remarkable, true account of faith, healing, and restoration in the face of impossible odds. Through a harrowing series of events and miraculous answers to prayer, Bill receives a donor's heart with only hours left to live. His rapid recovery and return to normal life is a story that shows God's power to heal and his faithfulness in answering prayers. The Miracle Man is available online through Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and other booksellers.
Lisa Wolf here to tell you about our newest website for old-time radio lovers. It's 100radioshows.com. At this site, there are 5 old-time radio shows waiting for you to download free as our gift to you. And be sure to browse the additional 700 old-time radio shows available to you for 70% off by using the promo code RADIO at checkout. This is a limited-time offer, so log on to 100radioshows.com. That's 100radioshows.com.
Truck downtime costs you money. One hidden killer on Cummins ISX 15 engines is weak injector cups. When they leak, coolant gets into the cylinders and suddenly you're facing a big repair bill. Industrial Injection has the fix. Our Torque Lock Injector Cup Kit with a threaded Torque Lock design. These cups stay sealed for good. No more coolant leaks. No more surprise downtime. Keep your truck on the road. Ask your shop for Industrial Injection Torque Lock Injector Cups today.
Truckers spend lots of hours on the road. So when it comes to staying connected, you need a headset that works just as hard as you do. Blue Parrot is the #1 headset brand for professional drivers, and we've taken the quality you've come to expect from us and made it even better. Check out our newest headsets, the Pro B350 and Pro B450, offering you more hours of talk time, better voice control, extreme comfort, and industry-leading AI voice isolation microphones. So you can spend more time talking about the important things and less time repeating yourself. To get yours, check out BlueParrot.com. Blue Parrot. Hear and be heard.
Your factory fuel filter is letting you down. AirDog heavy-duty diesel fuel systems don't just filter your fuel. The AirDog fully optimizes your truck's fuel system for peak efficiency. The factory-provided filter simply removes particulates and water from fuel. The AirDog system removes all contaminants, including entrained air, water, and particulates, and feeds the engine pump with optimal pressure. Check out airdogdiesel.com to learn how you can capture every bit of performance and efficiency from your fuel system.
Dean Michael, the tax doctor here. Are you tired of those tax problems following you around like a dark cloud, always in the back of your mind, losing sleep at night? Call me now and get your life back. 888-557-4020 or go to mytaxhelpmd.com. Pretending they're not there won't make them go away. The IRS isn't going to forget. They will levy your bank account and garnish your wages. Don't wait for that to happen. I'm not telling you these things to scare you. I'm telling you so you can benefit from my years of experience. Now is the time to act. 888-557-4020.
Diesel owners know if you take care of your engine, it'll return the favor. Hot Shot secret formulates additives that help you prevent problems and boost performance. Diesel Extreme cleans internal and external injector deposits, and EDT increases fuel economy by up to 7.3%, scientifically proven by third-party testing. Add Hot Shot secret at your next fill-up to get the most out of your diesel. Available nationwide at truck stops, farm and automotive stores, and online at hotshotsecret.com. Hot Shot Secret, powered by science.
Want to advertise your brand on the Steve Summers Overnight Drive and help grow your business through one of the hottest radio shows and podcasts in America? We would love to hear from you. Rates have never been better to put your brand on our show, or maybe you just want to kick the tires. Email us at ssod@hotshotsecret.com and take the first steps towards taking your brand to the next level through advertising on the Steve Summers Overnight Drive.
Well, if I told you our friend Philip in Florida was on board, I think we'd all have a sneaky suspicion what you had on your mind. What's going on, Philip?
Oh, not much, buddy. I'll tell you what, I wake up and I find out the place is blowing up over there. What you think?
I wonder how far away people felt that explosion. We all had some questions.
Well, I know that.
We all had some questions for you. First of all, how far offshore is technically what they call the Cape, and how much separation is there between, say, a launch pad 39, launch pad 40? Are they miles separation, or?
Yes, they are. The way it's set up is it's about, if you look at the VAB, that big building that they build the Artemis rocket in, the distance from that to the pad, which is where the fire room is by the VAB, it's about 3 miles. And it's about 2 to 3 miles from where that rocket was to the people where they were firing it, the firing room, if you know what I mean. They're the guys that pushed the button to launch it.
Okay.
And that's why, and I said that in the earlier on that one post, that's why now you know why they're where they're at. Just like at Boca Chica with Starship, it's about 3 miles away from where those big buildings are and whatnot, for the Starship. But still, I mean, when you have something like that, Steve, that's the closest to an atomic bomb that you got right there. What you saw tonight was probably the closest that you would see an atomic bomb going off. You know what I mean? I mean, it's just that much energy. As far as people feeling it, they felt it all the way across the Indian River in Titusville.
Wow.
It didn't get to me. It didn't even wake me up. I didn't. I'm 25, 30 miles away from that place.
Okay.
And I didn't even, I slept through it. I didn't know about it till I got up and saw it on Facebook.
So I know
go ahead, buddy.
You know the various fueling. Artemis uses different fuel than, say, the SpaceX. This was the Blue Origin. What compounds? They've got the 2 separate stages. What was that rocket loaded with? Do you know?
Yes, that rocket uses the methane just like the Starship.
Okay.
A lot of these companies have went to this methane now, which is a lot better. It's actually a lot more controllable than the hydrogen and oxygen mix that they use on the Artemis. It's also a little bit more stable than some of the RP-1, which the RP-1 is that they use in the Falcon 9. That is no more than a high-grade kerosene. It's actually just a high-grade form of like diesel or jet fuel or whatnot. But the methane, when it goes off, it's pretty bad. And what you saw tonight, that, Steve, eventually was the same kind of explosion that we saw with the Starship not too long ago, where they had a booster blow up at Massey.
Mm-hmm.
And it looked just like that. I mean, it looked like that. If you look at that explosion, and I want everybody to check this out, and you can actually see how the rocket's built by the way it explodes. When that exploded, everything was on the ground underneath the rocket. That's where the initial ignition started. And you can see it literally go up the center of the rocket.
Correct.
That is the big tube that brings it down, because there's tanks up in the top of the rocket where all the gas is stored, and it brings it down to the engines. And you can literally see that explosion going right up that tube on this rocket. It's pretty amazing, believe it or not. I know it's a setback, But from a forensic style looking at it, that's what I look at it. When I look at these things, I want to, how did that thing blow up? Why did it blow up? And that's what the investigation is going to be. And I tell you what, I wouldn't want to have been over there by where the cruise ships are. I imagine those guys over there by where the port is, they got rocked pretty good by that, because that was a pretty good concussion.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah.
I mean, that was a pretty good concussion. I mean, it wasn't as big a concussion as, say, do you remember when the fertilizer went off over there in Lebanon, when they had that explosion and that fertilizer?
Yes.
When that deal went down over there, that was a lot more concussion. There was a lot more intensity and compaction in it to make that explosion concussion that bad. This one here, though, man, I think, Steve, if my memory serves me right, this is the first on-pad explosion that they've had at Cape Canaveral since probably early Apollo days, or even Atlas days. You know what I mean? And those were test vehicles. They did not have any humans on it. So I'm pretty sure this was the first on-pad explosion they've had at Cape Canaveral since, you're looking at what, 60s? Early 60s, maybe 50s, late 50s. That's a long time, man.
So
you know what I mean?
This was what they call supposed to be a static test flight. What was supposed to happen? Was it supposed to actually launch, or?
No, what happens is, in a static fire, you load the rocket up with propellant. What you saw there, Steve, was not a full load.
No,
that was not a full load. That was probably only about a half a load, if that. When you static fire, you don't fill it up all the way. You put just enough fuel in to do what your testing is wanting to do, and you're firing the engines to test them to see if everything fires up correctly. If that makes sense. It's not a wet dress rehearsal. That's a totally different deal. On a wet dress rehearsal, what we do on that is we fill all the propellants up in the rocket. We make sure that everything is topped off, and we do the countdown, just like when you're doing your countdown process. And we chill everything down. We don't light anything up. In a static fire, we light it up, but we're just testing the engines to get them up to temp to see how they're going to fire. That's all we're doing. That's all we do in a static test. Now, the other one, the wet dress, that is where you're pressurizing all the systems. All the systems are pressurized to their full capacity before we light it. And that's just to make sure that all of your lines are working. That could be as simple as a bolt being loose on a pipe for what you saw there. That's why you have to put as much emphasis as you do on separation of the vehicle and where people are. I mean, we got to look at that. I mean, that's why it's out there where it's at. That's why it's by the ocean. You think about it, most of that explosion, yes, it did go north and south, but a lot of that explosion went towards the ocean, if that makes sense. The way they have these pads set up, the trenches go towards the water. Why? Because you want to send it that way out there to get the heat away from land, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
That's why Elon just did that new tower. That new tower they just launched from the other day, that's got a flame trench now in it. That's what they call it, a flame trench. It's literally a trench. It's underneath the pad that shoots the exhaust, and all the heat, it shoots it out towards the body of water, if that makes sense.
Okay.
And that was a big setback for Blue Origin. I got a friend that works out there, and I know he was probably out there working tonight, but I hope everything's okay with him. I know nobody got hurt. There was no fatalities. I can say one thing: it probably destroyed that building that's sitting real close to it. There,
that was going to be my next question. Was going to be what kind of condition would you think that particular launch pad is in? Is that launch pad trashed?
I don't think it's trashed, because those launch pads are hardened. And what I mean by hardened is they're made for that kind of stuff. They're made for that heat. You know what I mean? the core base of the launch pad is perfect. You know, it's meant to get blown up, for lack of a better way of saying it. It is meant for that kind of heat, that kind of stuff being around it. What hurts is your infrastructure with your electronics and your infrastructure to load the vehicle. So you think about all the piping and all the quick disconnects and all this other stuff that they've got in there that hooks the vehicle up to the computers. All that infrastructure is what, when that goes, that can be really pricey. And also, you got to look at it. That building that's just off of it there, they bring the rocket to that building initially. They put it together in that building. They put it on the erector. They roll it to the pad, and then they flip her up. Okay? So that building, that's the load building. So like where that in that building is where they load all the satellites. I mean, you just can't bring a satellite out of a sterile environment, bring it outside and just throw it up on a truck and take it there. No, it's got to be covered up. You know what I mean? This stuff is going up into space. You know, they spend millions of dollars on these satellites and stuff. And you just can't throw that outside and let all the dust in the air hit it. You know what I mean, Steve?
Mm-hmm.
You know, think about the amount of time and transport that they spent on the James Webb Telescope alone. You know, even though that thing is up in space somewhere going through all kinds of stuff hitting it anyway, but you don't want none of that stuff on the initials when you're loading it. You got to keep everything as sterile and clean. You can't just have that in any kind of building. And that building that's right off of that pad, if you look at that pad, there's a building right off of it. They bring the rocket there. That's where they set the rocket on the holder, or the erector, they call it. And then they load it with whatever it's got. So what was going to happen with that rocket was it was going to be dropped down after the static fire test. It was going to be rolled into that building. Then they were going to load the satellites on it, make sure everything was buttoned up, and then bring it back out to the pad, stand it up, and get ready to do it again. And if you lose that building, that's a lot of time and a lot of money that was put in that building. I know that building is probably hardened for the launches because it's really close to that launch pad. But it's part of the deal, man. It's part of testing. I feel sorry for Jeff Bezos, because the man honestly cares about this. He's put a lot of money and time and people into this program.
Right.
You know what I mean? And those folks are there for a reason, and they are working their butts off. I know my buddy was so excited going over there to work for Jeff. He worked on Artemis before this, and he was so excited about going over to work on New Glenn. And a really good guy, stand-up guy. His passion is rockets. That's what he does. He's a rocket, basically an engineer is what he is. But, you know, he said that the environment is amazing there. He said it's like everybody is just striving for one thing as a team. You know, so it's a big setback, and it's disappointing when you see stuff like this. But you got to understand, this is part of testing. This is testing. How many of these things have they got off? They've only got off, 3 of them? Now, this is the one that lands on the ship, Steve. It don't land on a barge. It lands on a full-blown ship when it comes back. You know, and to do that, they've done it twice. That's amazing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You got to move. You're going to have bumps in the roads like this, and I mean, this is a costly one. This is very costly. I mean, they had a setback when the last launch happened because they didn't get a satellite up in the correct orbit. But it's part of testing. It's part of a new vehicle. Hopefully they can mend their fences and they can move on. So, I mean, it is what it is, bro. Well, it is what it is.
Even Jeff Bezos' statement was, it's been a tough day. Whatever it costs, we'll build it back and get back to flying. It's worth it, was his final comment. It's worth it.
That's right. You know why? Because he's got a passion for what he wants. He knows what he's going to do. And you look at all the explosions that Elon's had with Starship. My God, man. I mean, you think about all the explosions that the Starships had since they're on their 12th launch.
Yep.
How many explosions they've had. I mean, on the ground, off the ground, all over the place. I mean, look at Virginia. We had the Falcon 9 explosion in Virginia. That one there, that decimated that launch pad. That explosion was just as big as the one that was last night. You know, it's the same size explosion. And that one there was inland. Now those Virginia ones, they're inland, you know, and now you're talking close to proximity to people when you go inland, you know, whereas this was on a barrier island. And if you guys don't know what a barrier island is, you have the mainline body of land called the mainland. And then off of it, you have these fingers that are islands. And that's the way Florida is configured. Florida has a lot of these barrier islands. A lot of your coastal communities have that. South Carolina, Louisiana. And that's why back in the day, they put everything at Cape Canaveral. That's why the government has been kind of down on Elon about Boca Chica, because they wanted him to move everything to Canaveral, because Canaveral is a controlled environment. It's set up for it. It can handle the situation if something bad happens, which Boca Chica can too. We've seen that already. They've done quite a bit there. But Canaveral is the place, and that's where Starship's coming to. It's coming. The Starships are coming to Canaveral. So I hope that Jeff and them guys are okay, and their folks are okay. I mean, try to recover as much as they can and just move on. So with that, I got to go, buddy. I got to go in here and throw some avocados around. So you have a good day, man. I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, thanks for checking in. I knew he'd have the details, right? The skinny. Okay, so the fuel and all that. So if it was only, I was assuming the report. I was assuming it was probably a fully fueled ship. If that was only half full, for instance. Yeah, how much bigger would that have been if that was a fully fueled ship? Wow. And we'll be right back.
Truck downtime costs you money. One hidden killer on Cummins ISX 15 engines is weak injector cups. When they leak, coolant gets into the cylinders and suddenly you're facing a big repair bill. Industrial Injection has the fix. Our Torque Lock Injector Cup Kit with a threaded Torque Lock design. These cups stay sealed for good. No more coolant leaks. No more surprise downtime. Keep your truck on the road. Ask your shop for Industrial Injection Torque Lock Injector Cups today.
At Hot Shot Secret, we share the science behind common diesel problems and their solutions. For example,
Hot Shot Secret Diesel Extreme.
Today's ultra-low sulfur fuels leave injector deposits causing frequent DPF regens and low throttle response. Diesel Extreme is a once every 6-month treatment that will clean your entire fuel system, including the tank, lines, pump, and the injectors.
Hot Shot Secret Diesel Extreme is available nationwide at truck stops, fine farm and auto stores, and online at hotshotsecret.com.
Your factory fuel filter is letting you down. AirDog heavy-duty diesel fuel systems don't just filter your fuel. The AirDog fully optimizes your truck's fuel system for peak efficiency. The factory-provided filter simply removes particulates and water from fuel. The AirDog system removes all contaminants, including entrained air, water, and particulates, and feeds the engine pump with optimal pressure. Check out airdogdiesel.com to learn how you can capture every bit of performance and efficiency from your fuel system.
Dean Michael, the tax doctor here. Are you tired of those tax problems following you around like a dark cloud, always in the back of your mind, losing sleep at night? Call me now and get your life back. 888-557-4020 or go to mytaxhelpmd.com. Pretending they're not there won't make them go away. The IRS isn't going to forget. They will levy your bank account and garnish your wages. Don't wait for that to happen. I'm not telling you these things to scare you. I'm telling you so you can benefit from my years of experience. Now is the time to act. 888-557-4020.
All right. Well, if you're calling in to make it official, you're a little bit late for the show, Mike.
Oh, well, it's not too late to say Happy Casual Friday, and remember, Casual Friday don't mean drive naked, right?
That's correct.
All right, so we're in the old Peterbilt rollback right now with a two-stroke Detroit, the 8V71 Detroit, you know. so it might be a little bit of background noise. Might be a little louder tonight trying to talk to you, but got the fire engine running, so we're going to swap it out because we're going to try to do some cleanup on the fire engine because it's got a place to go on the 6th of next month. So we're going to see if we can get everything back all put together because, man, we had our issues so far this year.
Right.
But anyways, so I think we're going to get things back in order, back to normal, and back in routine here. So kind of nice having weekends off. I can actually do things, Your Honor. I can plan to do things.
How about
that? So anyways, so I sent you an email. Did you get the big email notification there for Make-A-Wish for the Mother's Day?
I shared that with the listening audience. I guess that was okay to do, right?
Absolutely. Don't want anybody going to the wrong place next year.
So where are they going to go? What are the options going to be?
Well, we don't know yet. They say they're working on stuff, so we'll see what happens. But this is all because of the move to Saturday. This all affected financial ability of the auto auction. They lost money having the auction. Where normally they'd have to close Saturday to Sunday, and because of extra overtime money, it put a financial burden to the auto auction to try to volunteer something to the Make-A-Wish. So, I mean, at some point, financial part has to take over for the, for what they have to do. So, anyways, yeah. So where it'll be, when it'll be, how it'll be, all up in the air, Your Honor. We're all going to have to find out. To be something new coming along. So, but anyways, other than that, everything looks like it's going to be good. Am I looking at a full moon? Is this what's out here tonight?
Almost. I think Sunday's the full moon, technically.
All right. And I guess I got to get on because I was just listening to you and Philip talk there for a couple minutes there. So I got to get on and see what happened down there. And our friend there, Don, who does the propellers, I saw he put a post up there about an update about Ranger, and I haven't gotten back to find that. Can you give me a quick 15-second recap?
Yeah, I got to speak to him last Saturday morning. It was. I gave him a ring. He had, against his doctor's wishes, he had gone back out to Arizona, trying to get a couple of vehicles back. I'm assuming by now he should be back in Pennsylvania. He started a new round of chemo once a week, every, I think, Wednesday for 8 weeks. The cancer has spread. It's hit lymph nodes, and he's got some in, I think, his right lung. So he's just trying to expedite and finish up getting his house in order as far as financial affairs and whatnot is pretty much the way he put it. And I think we might have lost horse feathers somewhere in that explanation. But yeah, he's, you're hoping, praying that this new chemo, because this is a different, totally different concoction than anything that they had tried on him in the previous chemo treatments. I did ask him, I said, well, how's the reaction to the chemo? Is it making you really sick? And he said no, he's not having any sort of negative, typical. I mean, some people do a chemo and said, one round, and I can't do it. I'd rather just die. Yeah, so he's no negative impacts from the chemo, but he said, I'm really concerned about what's going on inside. He says, I feel okay physically with the cancer in the lung. He said, I do get winded a little easier, quicker than it, of course you've got cancer in the lungs, but he did say it's a pretty fast growing type of cancer, whatever it is. So that's where we stand. Prayers for the Ranger, and we'll be back with our final hour just ahead on a Friday morning, the Steve Sommers Overnight Drive.
Truck downtime costs you money. One hidden killer on Cummins ISX 15 engines is weak injector cups. When they leak, coolant gets into the cylinders and suddenly you're facing a big repair bill. Industrial Injection has the fix. Our Torque Lock Injector Cup Kit with a threaded Torque Lock design. These cups stay sealed for good. No more coolant leaks. No more surprise downtime. Keep your truck on the road. Ask your shop for Industrial Injection Torque Lock Injector Cups today.
Truckers spend lots of hours on the road. So when it comes to staying connected, you need a headset that works just as hard as you do. Blue Parrot is the #1 headset brand for professional drivers, and we've taken the quality you've come to expect from us and made it even better. Check out our newest headsets, the Pro B350 and Pro B450, offering you more hours of talk time, better voice control, extreme comfort, and industry-leading AI voice isolation microphones. So you can spend more time talking about the important things and less time repeating yourself. To get yours, check out BlueParrot.com. Blue Parrot, hear and be heard.
Your factory fuel filter is letting you down. AirDog heavy-duty diesel fuel systems don't just filter your fuel. The AirDog fully optimizes your truck's fuel system for peak efficiency. The factory-provided filter simply removes particulates and water from fuel. The AirDog system removes all contaminants, including entrained air, water, and particulates, and feeds the engine pump with optimal pressure. Check out AirDogDiesel.com to learn how you can capture every bit of performance and efficiency from your fuel system.
Ready to beat the heat this summer? Keep your long haul, short haul, off-road adventure, or just stay cool while on site with Be Cool. Designed with on or off-the-road vehicles in mind, Be Cool offers you DC-powered cooling, low voltage protection, easy installation, and more. Beat the heat with Be Cool. It's the cooler way to go. With air conditioners for semi-trucks starting at $888. Get yours today. Visit b-coolaircon.com or call 778-590-5000. That's 778-590-5000.
USA Radio News, I'm Anthony Lucero. The U.S. and Iran have agreed to extend the ceasefire, launch nuclear talks, pending Trump's approval.
U.S. and Iranian negotiators have reached a tentative 60-day agreement to extend a ceasefire and begin formal talks on Iran's nuclear program, according to U.S. officials. The deal still requires final approval from President Trump. The agreement comes after weeks of heightened tensions, including military exchanges in the Strait of Hormuz and a reported Iranian missile launch toward a U.S. ally, which was intercepted. Officials say nuclear issues remain the key sticking point. Ron Warner, USA Radio News.
Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says the American economy remains strong under President Trump, citing gains in 401k accounts, record U.S. energy exports, and growing popularity of the Trump accounts.
We had a historic tax filing season. We passed the largest tax cuts in American history. The average refund this filing season is nearly $3,300, an 11% increase from last year.
His comments came as a new inflation report showed consumer prices hit their highest level in nearly 3 years in the month of April. The FBI seized $40 million in gold bars from a former CIA agent posing as a decorated Air Force pilot.
The New York Times says David Rush was arrested last week on federal charges of swindling the government out of tens of millions of dollars. Rush was a senior official with the CIA who had top-secret security clearance. Court documents show the feds raided his Virginia home last week and found over 300 gold bars, $2 million in cash, and 35 luxury watches. John Sommers, USA Radio News.
The CDC says a salmonella outbreak has been linked to moringa leaf products sold nationwide, prompting recalls and investigations across multiple states. Dozens of illnesses have been reported. That includes hospitalizations. Officials are working to identify contaminated batches and prevent further spread. From America's News Network, USA Radio News.
Commerce moves fast. Your business should too. If you're not on the first page of search results, you're losing customers. Out of sight, out of mind is true. Don't let that be you. iLocal.net has helped local businesses dominate search results since 2009. For a limited time, iLocal.net is offering a free website analysis to improve the online presence of your business. Local business owners across the U.S. turn to iLocal.net to improve their search engine rankings. Search engines are constantly changing their algorithms. You need the professionals who know how to use those changes to benefit your business. Don't hope for new customers. Get found and be chosen. Call 888-699-2407 for your free website analysis. Don't wait. Call 888-699-2407. That's 888-699-2407. For your free website analysis, call 888-699-2407.
A Valencia County judge has ordered Republican Party of New Mexico chairwoman Amy Barella removed from leadership duties as she is running in a contested primary. Brandon Vogt is a radio announcer for KKOB Radio in Albuquerque, and he seeks the GOP chair.
I applaud Judge Mercer's actions in removing Amy Barella from the chair of the GOP. This is something that Republican leadership didn't have the guts to do.
The judge also barred party leaders from publicly supporting candidates in contested GOP primaries. Republicans say they plan to appeal the injunction. A coalition of LGBTQ advocates in Seattle is calling for a civil emergency declaration, saying the city is seeing a growing influx of LGBTQ individuals relocating from other states and straining housing and support services. City leaders are weighing how to respond as advocacy groups push for expanded resources and coordinated assistance programs. Millions of Americans get food poisoning every year.
The Cleveland Clinic is giving tips to try and avoid that now that grilling season's here. The clinic says marinate food ahead of time in the refrigerator and don't let it sit at room temperature while you're marinating it. Use different cutting boards and knives for raw meat and vegetables. The U.S. Department of Agriculture says beef, steaks, chops, and roasts should be heated to 145 degrees inside, while ground meats should be cooked to at least 160 degrees and ground poultry to 165. I'm Tammy Trujillo.
And I'm Anthony Lucero, USA Radio News.
What if the music stopped? If the familiar voices were silenced? If there were no breaking news updates? What if your companion and connection to your community came with a monthly fee? Don't worry, we're free local radio with you wherever you go, celebrating 100 years and looking forward to the next 100. We are broadcasters. Text radio to 52886 and let Congress know you depend on your local radio stations. By the National Association of Broadcasters.
Truck downtime costs you money. One hidden killer on Cummins ISX 15 engines is weak injector cups. When they leak, coolant gets into the cylinders and suddenly you're facing a big repair bill. Industrial Injection has the fix. Our Torque Lock Injector Cup Kit with a threaded Torque Lock design. These cups stay sealed for good. No more coolant leaks. No more surprise downtime. Keep your truck on the road. Ask your shop for Industrial Injection Torque Lock Injector Cups today.
Ready to beat the heat this summer? Keep your long haul, short haul, off-road adventure, or just stay cool while on site with Be Cool. Designed with on or off-the-road vehicles in mind, Be Cool offers you DC-powered cooling, low voltage protection, easy installation, and more. Beat the heat with Be Cool. It's the cooler way to go. With air conditioners for semi-trucks starting at $888. Get yours today. Visit b-coolaircon.com or call 778-590-5000. That's 778-590-5000.
You're listening to The Overnight Drive with Steve Sommers.
Okay, without further ado, we get our final hour underway as we roll into the, final Friday here in the month of May. My, another month nearly passed us by. So we'll start a Friday much like each and every other day over the past several weeks. Do we have a deal? Deal or no deal? I don't know, flip a coin, because it changes with each passing day. President Trump shared a draft peace agreement on Iran with Israel and other allies as part of the ongoing diplomatic efforts to stabilize tensions. That proposal has not been finalized. They say it's still under negotiation among the parties involved. Still weighing possible revisions and what the sequence of key provisions is going to be. The Guardian reported that circulating draft frameworks is a common diplomatic step used to test allied support and maybe identify any sticking points before the formal negotiations advance. Vice President J.D. Vance said the U.S. is not there yet on reaching an agreement, but added that the parties are close, as he said. He described negotiations are still ongoing. Remaining differences are being worked through, even as he expressed cautious optimism about the prospect of a deal. According to The Guardian, though, the draft framework outlines a phased approach aimed at reducing hostilities and opening broader talks between the U.S., Iran, and regional stakeholders. The initial phase would reportedly focus on de-escalation, including reduced military activity alongside expanded diplomatic channels. The draft envisions measures to restore commercial shipping through the Strait of Hormuz, obviously, paired with possible sanction relief tied to Iranian compliance with agreed steps. Subsequent rounds of negotiations would then address Iran's nuclear program under international monitoring, although both sequencing and scope are unresolved on that category. The framework further calls for broader regional security talks involving multiple actors, reflecting wider concerns about spillover from the conflict. The Guardian says that some Israeli and regional officials have raised concerns over elements of the proposal, particularly the timing of the nuclear-related commitments. Has not been approved by either Washington or Tehran. Diplomatic efforts involving multinational partners are ongoing. And I guess all we can say is, well, the discussions continue. But with each passing day, we're close. We're close. We're really close. Or are we? Well, we do know we're very close to the official kickoff of hurricane season. Monday, officially, according to the calendar, June 1. As hurricane season approaches, FEMA is trying to reassure Americans they're ready. Despite major staffing losses, funding problems, growing criticism over federal disaster bureaucracy, at FEMA headquarters, federal and state officials conducted a mock hurricane response exercise simulating a Category 2 storm hitting Creole, Louisiana. That drill involved FEMA, the National Guard, the Coast Guard, the Red Cross, Salvation Army, and local emergency agencies ahead of course, the June 1 start of hurricane season. The emergency preparedness exercise kind of unfolding as the agency faces some serious internal strain, according to reports. House Democrats recently warned FEMA has lost more than 5,000 employees since January of 25. Nearly half the agency's top leadership positions are vacant. A previous government accountability report also found FEMA entered the 25 hurricane season with only 12% of its deployable disaster workforce available. Nonetheless, the acting administrator, Bob Fenton, insists the agency is ready. Oh, yes, we're ready for hurricane season. This is something we do every year. It's in our DNA, he said. He acknowledged they're still recovering from the lengthy Department of Homeland Security funding lapse and the government shutdown. That had a significant impact, he said. Any time that you're closed for 70-something days, and then 40-something days this year, over 100 days in total this year, that's going to have an impact. FEMA also recently hit immediate needs funding status after the Disaster Relief Fund was running dangerously low, forcing spending restrictions just weeks before hurricane season. They said, right now we're playing catch-up, but we play catch-up pretty quick here. You know, if there's any sort of a maybe saving grace that FEMA might need this year is if indeed the super El Nino comes to fruition and puts a big lid on the Atlantic hurricane season, which could happen. That might give them a bit of a reprieve there. Meanwhile, back to the calls here on a Friday morning. Is that Kevin?
Hey, yeah, it's Kevin here. Trying to keep it down because I did something bad. I had to give up my gas mower. I winterize it every year. 12 years I winterized it, and it went dark, and I had to switch over to a electric mower, lithium battery I got now.
Yeah. How's that working out for you?
Well, it sounds like a hair dryer when I'm cutting my lawn.
Mm-hmm.
The persimmon trees I've planted there, they just don't respect me anymore. The lawn, when I cut it, I got to cut in the middle of the night. I can't let my neighbors know I'm using lithium battery here. It's kind of a,
You've gone to the
nightmare.
You've gone over to the dark side. Can you believe that? A lithium-ion battery. Yeah, whatever floats your boat. Let me see. Happy Friday. I have a little question mark in my mind about that. Hello, Truck and Phil. Happy Casual Friday. Good morning, Mr. Steve Sommers, the Hotshot Secret Nation, and the great product of Staybill. 49 going to 79 at Fort Wayne today. A cool 50 with a high 78 for Newaygo. Looks like we've got a working weekend this week. Big shout out to the Knuckle Buster and all the veterans out there. Be safe out there today. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. As always, Semper Fi from Truck and Phil. All right, for Blue Origin's New Glenn rocket, the most relevant vehicle for static fire questions, as it's their large orbital rocket that undergoes full vehicle or stage static fires, aka hot fires. The first stage is loaded with a substantial amount of propellant on the order of roughly 900 to 1,100 plus metric tons. That translates to somewhere between 2 and 2.4 million pounds total for a full load during a static fire test. Tony forwarded this my way. I guess he did a little research. Yeah, the key propellant. First stage uses liquid oxygen plus CH4, which is liquid methane / LNG in the BE4 engines. Methalox, I guess they call it. Tank volumes from the New Glenn specs. Yeah, they've got the numbers there. And it's all kind of like in the mathematical equations, which translates to Greek for most of us. But the total first stage propellant, roughly 1,270 to 1,300 metric tons maximum capacity. Yeah, static fire loads are often slightly less. Estimates and discussion range from 950 to 1,100 plus tons, depending on the fill levels. Static fire, hot fire tests typically load the vehicle or stage to near full or representative propellant levels to simulate launch conditions, although they may use partial loads for safety limits. Recent incidents and tests mention propellant loading before static fires. Static fire propellant amounts can vary by test. The engine out simulations, the duration, or full versus partial stage. But for New Glenn's first stage, it's in the hundreds to low thousands of tons range, which would be comparable in scale to other heavy lift boosters, but smaller than, say, Starship's Super Heavy. Exact figures for a specific test are often not publicly disclosed in precise detail for operational safety reasons. So, a little better understanding just how much fuel might have been aboard the Orion vehicle that blew up on the pad here this past evening.
Truck downtime costs you money. One hidden killer on Cummins ISX 15 engines is weak injector cups. When they leak, coolant gets into the cylinders and suddenly you're facing a big repair bill. Industrial Injection has the fix. Our Torque Lock Injector Cup Kit with a threaded Torque Lock design. These cups stay sealed for good. No more coolant leaks. No more surprise downtime. Keep your truck on the road. Ask your shop for Industrial Injection Torque Lock Injector Cups today. Want to advertise your brand on the Steve Sommers Overnight Drive and help grow your business through one of the hottest radio shows and podcasts in America? We would love to hear from you. Rates have never been better to put your brand on our show, or maybe you just want to kick the tires. Email us at ssod@hotshotsecret.com and take the first steps towards taking your brand to the next level through advertising on the Steve Sommers Overnight Drive.
Your factory fuel filter is letting you down. AirDog heavy-duty diesel fuel systems don't just filter your fuel. The AirDog fully optimizes your truck's fuel system for peak efficiency. The factory-provided filter simply removes particulates and water from fuel. The AirDog system removes all contaminants, including entrained air, water, and particulates, and feeds the engine pump with optimal pressure. Check out airdogdiesel.com to learn how you can capture every bit of performance and efficiency from your fuel system.
Truckers spend lots of hours on the road, so when it comes to staying connected, you need a headset that works just as hard as you do. Blue Parrot is the #1 headset brand for professional drivers, and we've taken the quality you've come to expect from us and made it even better. Check out our newest headsets, the Pro B350 and Pro B450, offering you more hours of talk time, better voice control, extreme comfort, and industry-leading AI voice isolation microphones, so you can spend more time talking about the important things and less time repeating yourself. To get yours, check out BlueParrot.com. Blue Parrot, hear and be heard.
On the trucking side, well, I think those in the industry, we all know if you're holding a CDL, you should be the best drivers on the road, right? Well, we know in many cases that is not where we stand right now. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy is looking to change that, stating that belief is why the DOT has taken steps to increase the barrier to entry for truck drivers. The FMCSA issued a final rule barring unvetted individuals from obtaining a CDL. Also, they're continuing working to eliminate CDL mills. I think he was speaking to the House Appropriations Committee this past day. Was it yesterday, maybe last week? While U.S. CDL applicants are subject to strict checks for past violation, like a DUI, reckless driving, an at-fault crash, many states have issued non-domiciled CDLs without conducting background checks. When we've had people come into the country recently, it's very challenging for us to look at their records. What is their driving record? That's creating risk to the system. And if you're going to church or you're going to Walmart, you should be safe. These should be the best drivers on the road, not some of the ones that are killing our families right now. The DOT estimated that final rule will force nearly 200,000 non-domiciled CDL holders to exit the trucking industry. Duffy said the DOT's already removed thousands who were deemed illegal or unable to meet the English proficiency standards. We've worked with the states to cancel 28,000 illegally issued licenses for unqualified foreign drivers thus far, and we're holding some states that aren't cooperating accountable. We all need to follow the same rules. We've also knocked out more than 20,000 drivers out of service for failing to meet the basic requirements like reading road signs and being able to communicate with law enforcement. Yeah, he added that strengthening the CDL standards, this shouldn't be a partisan issue by no means. There's not a difference between a Democrat state or a Republican state. All the states perform poorly, meaning they're giving commercial driver's licenses to people who maybe should not have been in the country at all. All right, keep on doing what you're doing there, Duffy, Mr. Bars. You can't fix something that's been, well, rotting in the barrel for the 20 years. You can't fix it overnight. It's going to take some time, right? Meanwhile, Waymo trying to fix it, temporarily suspending robo-taxi service in 6 cities after severe storms and flooding created safety concerns for their autonomous vehicles. Pausing service in Atlanta, Nashville, San Antonio, Houston, Dallas, and Austin, Texas, following recent flood-related incidents and forecast for additional heavy rain across parts of the South. A Waymo spokesperson tells AccuWeather, "We're committed to being good neighbors for our riders and our communities. As part of that, we make proactive decisions, including temporarily pausing aspects of our service." Now, I said the situation is dynamic. Service has already resumed in some of the impacted cities, but that disruption followed multiple reports of Waymo vehicles encountering floodwaters during heavy rain in Atlanta last week. Video showing at least one Waymo stalled with water reaching near the headlights. The Atlanta Journal-Constitution reported a separate ride in which the vehicle repeatedly tried to navigate flooded streets. Those Atlanta incidents came about a month after a Waymo vehicle drove into floodwaters in San Antonio back on April 20th. That vehicle was swept away into Salado Creek. Luckily, there were no passengers aboard the vehicle at that time. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration confirmed a recall involving nearly 3,800 Waymo vehicles after the San Antone flooding incident. The recall applies to vehicles using Waymo's 5th and 6th generation automated driving systems, according to reports citing federal documents. According to Waymo, it has systems in place to monitor forecasts, alerts, and live weather conditions and to adjust their operations accordingly. Waymo vehicles can navigate heavy rain, but operations may be paused out of an abundance of caution during intense rain or when flash flooding is possible. Waymo also said they're implementing additional software safeguards, including refining extreme weather operations during periods of heavy rain and limiting access to areas where flash flooding could occur. So we're all, as humans, advised, turn around, don't drown. How can you fine-tune an autonomous vehicle? Is it floodwaters, or is the vehicle going to pause for a puddle, I guess? They didn't give a timeline for when customers are going to be expecting full service to be restored. Riders should check the Waymo app for the latest updates so we continue to operate normally in other markets. But here's the growing challenge for autonomous vehicles. As they expand into other cities where you have sudden downpours, low-lying roads, rapidly changing flood conditions that can turn a routine trip into a hazardous trip. Now, of course, even shallow-looking water can hide stalled vehicles. Washed out pavement, as we know, fast-moving currents. It's the dangers we're all trained about, for both human drivers and, of course, the automated systems. What you going to do in the heavy rain? right, about a minute before news break just ahead. Looks like Charlie may have actually woke up. Eagle wanting to check back in before we close things out here on a Friday morning. More than 20 companies, according to FreightWaves, filed bankruptcy here in the month of May. Regional carriers, oil field haulers, third-party logistics across Illinois, Texas, Arkansas, Oklahoma, filing either Chapter 7 liquidations or Chapter 11 restructuring over the past 30 days as erratic demand, soft spot rates, and elevated operating costs continue to put pressure on the industry. We'll highlight some of the more recognizable carriers maybe coming up here following a news break. News, a service of Industrial Injection. Heavy-duty diesel parts and solutions, from injectors and pumps to turbochargers and engines, built for the trucks that cannot afford downtime. Learn more at industrialinjection.com. Good to have you with us here on a Friday morning, the Steve Sommers Overnight Drive.
USA Radio News, I'm Anthony Lucero. The U.S. and Iran have agreed to extend the ceasefire, launch nuclear talks, pending Trump's approval.
U.S. and Iranian negotiators have reached a tentative 60-day agreement to extend a ceasefire and begin formal talks on Iran's nuclear program, according to U.S. officials. The deal still requires final approval from President Trump. The agreement comes after weeks of heightened tensions, including military exchanges in the Strait of Hormuz and a reported Iranian missile launch toward a U.S. ally, which was intercepted. Officials say nuclear issues remain the key sticking point. Ron Warner, USA Radio News.
Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says the American economy remains strong under President Trump, citing gains in 401k accounts, record U.S. energy exports, and growing popularity of the Trump accounts.
We had a historic tax filing season. We passed the largest tax cuts in American history. The average refund this filing season is nearly $3,300, an 11% increase from last year.
His comments came as a new inflation report showed consumer prices hit their highest level in nearly 3 years in the month of April. The FBI seized $40 million in gold bars from a former CIA agent posing as a decorated Air Force pilot.
The New York Times says David Rush was arrested last week on federal charges of swindling the government out of tens of millions of dollars. Rush was a senior official with the CIA who had top-secret security clearance. Court documents show the feds raided his Virginia home last week and found over 300 gold bars, $2 million in cash, and 35 luxury watches. John Sommers, USA Radio News.
The CDC says a salmonella outbreak has been linked to moringa leaf products sold nationwide, prompting recalls and investigations across multiple states. Dozens of illnesses have been reported. That includes hospitalizations. Officials are working to identify contaminated batches and prevent further spread. From America's News Network, USA Radio News.
Commerce moves fast. Your business should too. If you're not on the first page of search results, you're losing customers. Out of sight, out of mind is true. Don't let that be you. iLocal.net has helped local businesses dominate search results since 2009. For a limited time, iLocal.net is offering a free website analysis to improve the online presence of your business. Local business owners across the U.S. turn to iLocal.net to improve their search engine rankings. Search engines are constantly changing their algorithms. You need the professionals who know how to use those changes to benefit your business. Don't hope for new customers. Get found and be chosen. Call 888-699-2407 for your free website analysis. Don't wait. Call 888-699-2407. That's 888-699-2407. For your free website analysis, call 888-699-2407.
A Valencia County judge has ordered Republican Party of New Mexico chairwoman Amy Barella removed from leadership duties as she is running in a contested primary. Brandon Vogt is a radio announcer for KKOB Radio in Albuquerque, and he seeks the GOP chair.
I applaud Judge Mercer's actions in removing Amy Barella from the chair of the GOP. This is something that Republican leadership didn't have the guts to do.
The judge also barred party leaders from publicly supporting candidates in contested GOP primaries. Republicans say they plan to appeal the injunction. A coalition of LGBTQ advocates in Seattle is calling for a civil emergency declaration, saying the city is seeing a growing influx of LGBTQ individuals relocating from other states and straining housing and support services. City leaders are weighing how to respond as advocacy groups push for expanded resources and coordinated assistance programs. Millions of Americans get food poisoning every year.
The Cleveland Clinic is giving tips to try and avoid that now that grilling season's here. The clinic says marinate food ahead of time in the refrigerator and don't let it sit at room temperature while you're marinating it. Use different cutting boards and knives for raw meat and vegetables. The U.S. Department of Agriculture says beef, steaks, chops, and roasts should be heated to 145 degrees inside, while ground meats should be cooked to at least 160 degrees and ground poultry to 165. I'm Tammy Trujillo.
And I'm Anthony Lucero, USA Radio News.
What if the music stopped? If the familiar voices were silenced? If there were no breaking news updates? What if your companion and connection to your community came with a monthly fee? Don't worry, we're free local radio with you wherever you go, celebrating 100 years and looking forward to the next 100. We are broadcasters. Text radio to 52886 and let Congress know you depend on your local radio stations. By the National Association of Broadcasters.
We know you'd like to be cuddled up real tight with a sweet little thing all night. But instead, you've got Steve Sommers. It's the Overnight Drive.
It's poll week. That's right. After the long wait, truck and tractor pulling is back. I'm Greg Hunter, and this is the NTPA Overnight Report from the NTPA headquarters in Marion, Ohio. Let's go pulling. We've waited long enough. Although it wasn't easy, it'll be worth it as the pullers have been tweaking and tuning for months in preparation for the 2026 season, which is coming up. The Busch Light Nationals in Evansville are this weekend at the Vanderburg 4-H Center with light super stocks, super farms, super stock diesel trucks, pro stocks, minis, light mods, and unlimited mods all hitting the track. You can't be there in person. You definitely want to watch on Full Pull Live, where they'll be streaming all 4 sessions. As we prepare for the heart of the pulling season, we can't forget the season actually started 2 months ago with the Southern Swing in Florida. There were 2 points hooks in Zellwood and 2 in Satsuma in mid-March, so this weekend isn't truly the start of the season. The Minis made both hooks in Florida, with Grant Theobald on top of the points with Lil Wicked after sweeping the Southern Swing. He's only 5 markers up on the combo of Kevin and Lindsey Campbell and their mini rod they call Wild Card. Looking at the standings in the light mods after Florida, Chase Smith aboard Outclassed is holding the top spot in the points on the heels of 2 wins. Only 3 points behind is Chase Richardson with Tag Team, and rounding out the top 3 is Wayne Sullivan and Kentuckian, only 6 points behind. As we look at the Superstock diesel trucks, Blake DeBrew and Flammable is on top, followed by Nick Gillette with Top Shelf in second, and Shane Kellogg with Trump in third. The new 4.1 Pro Stock tractors made their debut in Florida, with Kevin Lindstrom and his 1971 International 1466 he calls Hyper Harvester on top of the points, followed by Brian Miller and his International 1066 he calls Dig and Bone in second, only 3 points behind. Starting this weekend and through the summer, there are polls pretty much every other day, and polls continue into October, so there is no shortage of horsepower hitting the track in 2026. This week on NTPA Championship Polling on RFD TV, we go back to the North Iowa Nationals in Rockwell. The Super Farms hit the track after a rainy weekend, so you do not want to miss it. Wednesday, 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central. But if you do miss it, it airs again on Saturday at 1 o'clock Eastern, Sunday at 2 o'clock Eastern, and Monday at 1:30 Eastern. This has been the NTPA Overnight Report. I'm Greg Hunter. Remember, pull hard.
So got a little additional detail in regards to what's left of the launch pad there. Yeah, let's just say there's a lot of damage. There ain't much left. Yeah, I guess Roy woke up here a few minutes ago, heard us talking to Philip about the massive explosion. I missed the news. What happened? Yeah, what was supposed to be a static fire test, as they call it, the powerful New Glenn rocket, that's a big one, owned by Blue Origin, exploding in a spectacular fireball little after 9 o'clock this past evening, sending billowing clouds of fire, smoke, and flaming debris into the night sky. A tremendous conflagration visible for miles around. Engineers were counting down to a brief test firing of the New Glenn's 7 methane-fueled BE-4 first-stage engines there on the Cape. They were slated for launch here in the month of June, a few weeks away, with a batch of Amazon internet satellites. Now, as the engines appeared to begin firing, something clearly went wrong at the base of the rocket. The 188-foot-tall first stage became enveloped in a rapidly growing fire, and moments later, the 86-foot-tall upper stage could be seen tilting and starting to fall as the first stage apparently began collapsing. Now then, the explosion as the load of methane fuel and liquid oxygen ignited into that massive fireball. So undoubtedly, yes, the rocket was destroyed, but as the smoke cleared, no signs of what Philip was describing earlier is the erector gantry that they use to move the New Glenn from the hangar to the pad and raise it to the horizontal to vertical position, gone. Likewise, one of the 2 tall lightning towers, no longer visible, gone. The Amazon satellites were not on board for the hot fire test, they say. The cause and what might be required to fix the problem, that's going to need a detailed analysis of the telemetry and the launch pad video. As for the pad, video from news helicopters well after the explosion showed multiple fires and severe damage. Thankfully, Bezos stated all personnel were accounted for and safe. It's been a tough day. We'll rebuild whatever needs rebuilding, and we'll get back to flying, he said. Space Force Eastern Range, which coordinates all launches from Florida, said in a statement, emergency responders are on the scene. Range officials, in coordination with Blue Origin and the appropriate partners, are evaluating available data to determine the exact cause of the anomaly. More information as it becomes available, they said. Elon Musk posted briefly, sorry to see this. I hope you recover quickly. This was the first such on-pad explosion at the Cape since a Falcon 9 blew up on Pad 40 back in 2016. That failure was later blamed on the rupture of a high-pressure helium tank inside the upper liquid oxygen tank. After that, Falcon 9 didn't return to flight for 3.5 months, and that pad was out of action for more than a year. In the meantime, SpaceX relied on Pad 39A at the Kennedy Space Center for their Florida launches, and Pad 4 East at Vandenberg there in California. Blue Origin only has one New Glenn pad. That's the one that was just severely damaged in this past evening's test. New Glenn, which has launched 3 times, is what they call a heavy lift rocket, designed to compete head-to-head with SpaceX Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy rockets. The Federal Aviation Administration, after reviewing Blue Origin's failure analysis after a flight back in April, where they had an upper stage malfunction, had just given them the green light to resume flights. So this is its 4th flight, had been planned for, again, early next month. That rocket destroyed this past day the LEO system. That's the internet satellites owned by Amazon, using a variety of rockets, will compete with Elon Musk's Starlink satellites to provide high-speed space-based internet service anywhere around the world. All right, so anything else in the mix here? Blue Origin had planned to launch a cargo version of its moon lander on a test flight before the end of the year using New Glenn rockets for that flight and the Artemis mission in Earth orbit. Now, how this mishap may play into those plans is all going to be unfolding here in the coming days. NASA is aware of the anomaly that occurred at the Launch Pad Complex 36, according to Administrator Jared Isaacman. Space flight is unforgiving, he says, and developing new heavy lift launch capability is extraordinarily difficult. We'll be working with our partners to support a thorough investigation, assess the near-term mission impacts, and get back to launching rockets. Information on any impacts to the Artemis and moon base programs, which this could all come into play, will be shared as it becomes available. Wow. So here we are on a Friday. What's happening, Charlie?
Good morning, Steve, and fellow listeners. Yes, this is the unofficial Charlie Ferguson impersonator of the Overnight Drive. The man who aspires to one day be considered the Rich Little of the Overnight Drive. Well, I got an inside tip from one of your listeners, actually a regular caller, Buckwheat. It seems like the right wingnut has been to Maricopa County, Arizona. I don't know whether you got the story I sent you or not, but there's been a report they caught a man breaking into the medical examiner's office and had sexual relations with four of the corpses. That's got Wright's name all over it. What a disgusting fellow. Ugh. Well, anyway, you just don't know what you're going to find. Well, about right. Well, now a word from our sponsor. GMA and BS Enterprises wants to remind everybody that spring is well underway, and the rain has been falling down. Boy, you need to protect your outside pets from the rain and the snow, and later in the winter, and, the sleet. Oh, that sun's going to be beating down, because summer is right around the corner. So protect your scaly friends from the rain and such with the Pond Umbrella today. Just remember, for the incredible low price of $19.95, you can order one Pond Umbrella. But wait, there's more. For the incredible low price of $49.95, you can order two Pond Umbrellas. That's right, folks. That's an over $10 value. Just remember, all of our products at GMA and BS Enterprises are visually inspected by the blind man. And remember, our motto here at GMA and BS Enterprises, brought to you by the founder's late great father, the West Virginia werewolf, will cheat you. I mean, treat you right. Back to you, Steve.
Yeah, all right, there you go. Do you accept $250 bills? I don't know. You think it'll happen? I have my doubts. There's discussion of actually the Mint preparing to begin printing $250 bills with President Trump's face on them. Confirmed by the Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent speaking to reporters yesterday. But it has to be approved by Congress. This after a Washington Post report claiming that the Trump administration is pressuring the Treasury's Bureau of Engraving and Printing to design a $250 bill featuring Trump's portrait. Legislation that would allow Trump to appear on a $250 bill was introduced in Congress last year to commemorate the nation's 250th anniversary, but obviously it's been languishing. Still, the Washington Post asserts that U.S. Treasurer Brandon Beach and Mike Brown, the advisor, are behind this push to put Trump's face on a bill. British painter Leon Alexander designed a mock-up draft of the T-note for the Bureau of Engraving and Printing staff. Treasury Secretary Bissett responding this past day, confirming to Fox's Peter Doocy that the Treasury is preparing to start printing the design currency in the event the legislation passes. This is all up to Capitol Hill. It's pending final approval. He says, quote, well, again, as Treasury Secretary, I have two mandates for U.S. currency at present. At present, no living person can be on U.S. currency. And the currency must say, in God we trust. So right now, there is proposed legislation in front of the House and the Senate to change that first requirement so that a living person, as in Donald Trump, could be on the $250 bill. It's all in the hands, it's up to Capitol Hill. Yeah, at the Treasury, we prepare things in advance, so we have prepared that if the legislation is passed, but we will stick to the law. He later shut down a reporter asking if he thinks it's a good idea for Trump to put his face on an American currency. He corrected the reporter's accusation, stating, again, the president doesn't do it. The House and the Senate have to do it. I don't know. What are the odds? What do you think? Yeah, anybody will wager on that?
Truck downtime costs you money. One hidden killer on Cummins ISX-15 engines is weak injector cups. When they leak, coolant gets into the cylinders and suddenly you're facing a big repair bill. Industrial Injection has the fix. Our Torque Lock Injector Cup Kit with a threaded Torque Lock design. These cups stay sealed for good. No more coolant leaks. No more surprise downtime. Keep your truck on the road. Ask your shop for Industrial Injection Torque Lock Injector Cups today.
Truckers spend lots of hours on the road. So when it comes to staying connected, you need a headset that works just as hard as you do. Blue Parrot is the #1 headset brand for professional drivers, and we've taken the quality you've come to expect from us and made it even better. Check out our newest headsets, the Pro B350 and Pro B450, offering you more hours of talk time, better voice control, extreme comfort, and industry-leading AI voice isolation microphones. So you can spend more time talking about the important things and less time repeating yourself. To get yours, check out BlueParrot.com. Blue Parrot, hear and be heard.
Your factory fuel filter is letting you down. AirDog heavy-duty diesel fuel systems don't just filter your fuel. The AirDog fully optimizes your truck's fuel system for peak efficiency. The factory-provided filter simply removes particulates and water from fuel. The AirDog system removes all contaminants, including entrained air, water, and particulates, and feeds the engine pump with optimal pressure. Check out AirDogDiesel.com to learn how you can capture every bit of performance and efficiency from your fuel system.
Dean Michael, the tax doctor here. Are you tired of those tax problems following you around like a dark cloud, always in the back of your mind, losing sleep at night? Call me now and get your life back. 888-557-4020 or go to mytaxhelpmd.com. Pretending they're not there won't make them go away. The IRS isn't going to forget. They will levy your bank account and garnish your wages. Don't wait for that to happen. I'm not telling you these things to scare you. I'm telling you so you can benefit from my years of experience. Now is the time to act. 888-557-4020.
Diesel owners know if you take care of your engine, it'll return the favor. Hot Shot secret formulates additives that help you prevent problems and boost performance. Diesel Extreme cleans internal and external injector deposits. And EDT increases fuel economy by up to 7.3%. Scientifically proven by third-party testing. Add Hot Shot secret at your next fill-up to get the most out of your diesel. Available nationwide at truck stops, farm and automotive stores, and online at hotshotsecret.com. Hot Shot Secret, powered by science.
Want to advertise your brand on the Steve Sommers Overnight Drive and help grow your business through one of the hottest radio shows and podcasts in America? We would love to hear from you. Rates have never been better to put your brand on our show, or maybe you just want to kick the tires. Email us at ssod@hotshotsecret.com and take the first steps towards taking your brand to the next level through advertising on the Steve Sommers Overnight Drive.
All right, what do you say? I will give it a shot. See if Eagle, you hanging in there? You with us? I do believe that would be a negative. Yeah. Oh, it's gotta love it. Now you finish out a work week. Gotta get some rest sometime, right? Hey, we'll talk at you next week there, Eagle. Thanks for hanging with us. Hey, a couple of final tidbits. I promised we'd get to some of the more notable names. With more than 20 bankruptcies filed in the trucking industry here in the month of May alone. The most notable case was the final liquidation of Standard Forwarding Freight, a 92-year-old Georgia-based carrier. 302 trucks, 230 drivers that abruptly shut down late last year. The largest Chapter 11 came from Bullet Energy Services, an Oklahoma oil field hauler, listing $10 to $50 million in liabilities. Sonar's carrier net revocation show exits running 31% above the same time last year, with new authority issuance down 22% in recent weeks. Translation, carrier exits running 31% above last year's pace. New authority falling 22% means the capacity floor is rising faster than demand. Small fleets with fewer than, say, 10 trucks account for most of these filings, partly because they have no margin buffer against elevated insurance and equipment cost. Shippers that are still pricing off of 2024 contract benchmarks should model what the spot rates look like when the carrier base, as the base continues to shrink. The models, the numbers are going to continue going up as far as the rates. Horse Feathers had forwarded my way out of over in his neck of the woods, Hagerstown, Maryland, where a charter bus catching fire after blowing a tire in western Maryland. State police say the incident was reported a little after 6:30 a.m. westbound Interstate 70 at Interstate 81 in Hagerstown. Preliminary investigation indicates the bus blew a tire. The driver was able to pull over. The bus began to catch fire at that point. State police and fire officials said 62 occupants, including the driver and students, were thankfully safely able to evacuate the bus, so ultimately no injuries. Occupants were taken to the Williamsport Volunteer Fire Company station to await a replacement bus. If I had to wager a guess, the fact that the tire blew and then the fire started back there, I probably had an overheated bearings, overheated brakes, tire blows out, and then, boom, brakes are on fire. And one final note, I don't know, somebody out there, we know there's a lot of folks that do not like some of our Supreme Court justices, especially the conservatives, including the likes of Amy Coney Barrett. Her home was swatted on Wednesday, according to the newly released audio. Police responding to a call for the sound of gunshots at the home of Supreme Court Justice Amy Coney Barrett, but quickly realized it was a swatting call and cleared after they met with the security detail. Again, they released the audio of that. Whoever called 911 was not answering when dispatch tried to confirm the validity of the call. A police officer later can be heard telling dispatchers, "We just made contact with the security detail. She's got 24-hour security. They haven't heard anything. We're going to meet up with him first and go over everything." But swatting. When you try to get police to respond to an emergency, to a violent scene, which is the intent is typically hoping that the innocent person will ultimately be injured or maybe killed in a tense situation. Yeah, Robbie Starbuck said essentially what this is, a swatting call is essentially attempted murder. Yeah, maybe they'll catch the perpetrator. With that, hey, we close out a Friday. Hope you've had a good week. Enjoy your weekend when you get around to it. But we'll come back and kick off a brand new week. We'll kick off the month of June, as a matter of fact, at the midnight hour, Sunday night into a Monday morning. Hope you'll join us here.
Never guess the places that I've been. You never guess the places that I've been. 'Cause everything is like a dream, yeah, but only in that dream that I live in. I'm never gonna let the day begin. Never gonna let the day begin. 'Cause everything is like a dream, yeah, but only in that dream that I live in. Oh, don't wake me up before you go, and I'll just make this bed my home. Oh, darling, please just let me sleep. Give me my dreams. Better from above. Nothing's ever as it seems, yeah, except in that world that I dream of. Never gonna lose the ones I love. Never gonna lose the ones I love. 'Cause everything is like a dream, yeah, but only in that world that I dream of. Oh, don't before you go.